Nathan, it's all you.
Welcome to episode 191, a palindromic prime episode of Crippled System. My name is Nathan.
What do you play?
I currently am playing Convergence of Cirrus.
My name is Brian, and I can't wait to start playing Gloomhaven.
Fair.
My name is Andy, and I play Mercs.
My name is Max, and currently I'm vacationing in Kador.
Kador... K-Station? I don't know.
Yeah.
Vacation.
K-Nador. Handball just rolled across the table.
Yeah, okay, don't make noise. Our editor gets pissed about that shit.
Yeah, I know.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Gloomhaven. It's like a thing we're going to play.
Well, the fact, I'm still happy that I got a copy of it considering how the odds were. I mean, 25, everyone Kickstarter got their copy, but then the retail orders, which I was one of, of the 25,000 orders, only 2,000 people got one. So those are pretty good odds.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 12,500.
And it was very hard for me not to go, man, just flip it on eBay for like double to triple the money instantly. But I didn't. I opened it, I popped it all apart, read all the rule. I'm very, very excited to start next week. If anyone cancels next Monday, I'm going to find them and stab them.
They could, yeah. 8 days from now.
Yes,
Monday.
correct.
Yeah.
I said next Monday.
You said it right, yep.
Yes.
I can never remember who says it wrong.
I say it both ways occasionally just to gauge the fun.
Yeah, your copy of Gloomhaven is defective because one of the deck boxes was backwards.
I know that was for you. It was actually not. I was spamming the people who were going to play with me. I was basically sorting the game on Saturday because it took like 5 hours to sort, and one of that I was taking some in progress pictures, and then I had it all perfect. Everything was perfect except for one thing, just for Nate. I basically hit send just to kind of count down to see how long before you rage back at me. Because it's always enjoyable.
Well, and I knew it was on purpose. That's the thing. It's like as soon as I got that picture, I'm like, oh, of course he did that. Of course he did.
Yeah, good times.
Fucker.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. So hopefully next week, I have next week. Hopefully, I can recommend Horizon.
Zero Dawn.
Yeah. Hopefully. The reviews have been good, so it should be positive, but I'm very excited. This will be a good week. I'm just going to play video games all Tuesday night and all Wednesday.
Well, you got the system to play it on. You have the Pro.
About the Pro.
Have you messed around with it on any other older games at all?
I have only played one game on it, and that was the Tomb Raider game.
Okay. I know it upscales.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, or the first one, just Tomb Raider?
The new one that was on the deck.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
It was on PS4 cheap.
It's a lot of Russian people and snapping necks.
Yeah, the other one had crazy cultists.
Mm-hmm. This is the one on the island.
Yeah, with like the cultists?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one. That's just Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was the older of the two new ones.
Are they both on the PS4?
Yeah.
Because one was delayed for a while to it.
Yeah, no,
one was Xbox.
The one you bought cheap, you probably got it like a month or so ago, and it was like dirt cheap on sale. Yeah, that was the first one of them. That was Tomb Raider from like 2012, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider came out like last year.
Gotcha.
No, they're. I think it's 2014.
It's been a few years.
Wow.
14.
It didn't come to the PS4.
Rise was pretty new.
One of them didn't come to the PS4 for a while.
Yeah, the one that was Xbox exclusive, that was 2015. That was last year.
That's
and
2 years ago.
Whatever. But anyway, I think the first Tomb Raider was 2014 though. I want to say it was very close to the.
No, it was older than that because I remember you playing it when I lived with you.
You played the island one.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. I think it was like 2012.
I couldn't get into it. I played it for a few hours, and the game couldn't suck me in. And it's third person. It's basically they basically copied the Uncharted style of how to play a game. And for whatever reason, I played it for a couple hours, and it just didn't pull me in. I couldn't.
I 100% of that fucker. I found every doodad hiding in every tree.
Yeah, I don't know why.
All my weapons.
It should. I mean, it's the same style of game as those, but for whatever reason, there's just something intangibly different that I couldn't like.
Was it because it didn't have a terrible cover system that fucks you over constantly?
No, the system wasn't that good of a. I just didn't enjoy the way it was doing things.
2013.
If you're a fan of terrible cover systems that fuck you over constantly, you'd like Uncharted.
The first
Uncharted 1.
Uncharted 1.
Which you never to pass.
Have you ever tried 2?
Well, I have to beat 1 first. How will I know what's going on in 2?
I mean, there are things that would help, but man,
there's not much that goes on in 2.
And I felt when I was playing,
you need to know from 1.
When I was playing Tomb Raider, I'm like, is this my Nathan game? Because for something I'm not liking about it, but nothing is there that I shouldn't like. But for some reason,
how I feel sometimes. It's like a game everybody likes, and you don't know why you don't like it, but you're like, no, fuck this game.
Yeah, it's some intangible Nathan effect that had him.
No, You're not.
What?
You're. I don't know what to say.
It's like talking to Jim about John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. No, but
All I'm
okay,
saying is that
so-
Last of Us is a garbage game for garbage people.
But
Max's first time on the podcast in a long time. Now he has to.
now he's a witness.
Yeah, now he's a witness.
Tomb Raider's just strictly superior to Last of Us.
No.
Said no one ever.
So you haven't played like
No one counts.
the quintessential. It's like only like watching half of Star Wars, and then not finishing Star Wars, and then continuing, and then never watching Empire,
Okay.
because Uncharted 2 is the Empire of the series. It is an amazing game.
Maybe I'll
Just work yourself through.
You need to
Uncharted.
know who Sully is, who that guy is, and what the character is. The girl. There's a blonde. There's
So the
Drake.
3 people you meet in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's all you need to
Nothing
know.
else matters from the first game.
Correct.
Actually, no, not really.
I mean, it is.
Uncharted was made as a standalone game with some cool story, but 2 is where it just goes to the fucking moon.
There's
Literally.
also this thing called Wikipedia that you can look
Yeah.
up.
Even then, it's like Indiana Jones films. Pretty much most of the time, Indiana Jones films, all 4 of them, you can just sit and watch. You don't really need to know what happened in the previous ones that much. You could watch Temple of Doom without seeing the other ones. You could
Well,
watch.
sure.
You could watch.
People who say Temple of Doom is worse than Crystal Meth, by the way, are like,
They're stupid. They don't have people stuccoing themselves into walls.
Fine, I get it. You didn't like Willie. Fine, I understand that. And okay, the dinner scene is really racist. I understand, but as
You're
a
going to
film,
get some
it's
racism
way
from
better.
the 80s.
Yeah, you're gonna get some racism from just like the heroes occasionally rape people in the 80s comedies.
Yeah, it's just, there's some side effects from 80s movies. We're sorry.
Revenge of the Nerds. Let's just pretend that didn't happen, and you move on with your life.
Yeah,
so
there
with
was-
Temple of Doom, you're like, that's racist. Can we just next scene, please? And then the movie's great.
And it's only subtly racist. It's not,
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's levels of racism. And
I've been to dinner at Indian people's homes, and we did not eat live snakes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
were you in their country?
I was not.
So then
Someone in chat making a great Heavy Rain reference.
Oh,
Press X to Jason.
Oh,
there was a
yes.
song and everything.
I almost got Heavy Rain recently.
I think I still have it.
It's on the PS4 store for cheap.
It's worth playing through.
Well, I like those. I like the story-driven
Story.
games. I mean, story-driven games are my jam.
And if it hasn't been spoiled for you, you would really like
Yeah,
it.
it
It's
hasn't.
very good.
Yeah.
you get the
It's
press
very
X
good.
for Jason.
Even the Beyond Two Souls game where you had little what's her name playing the.
Ellen Page, right?
Yeah, I've heard the game is okay, but I'm still intrigued. It's story-driven, and it's still kind of like pulls me in. So I'm waiting for that game to be cheap someday.
Heavy Rain's really good, and I like because it jumps between the different points of views and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you played that one, Max.
I haven't yet, no.
Well, you press X to Jason.
Okay.
But no, so I was playing Tomb Raider. I'm defending a point here.
Oh.
I've told this
Are
story.
we-
Wow, we're back at Tomb Raider.
I was playing Tomb
You
Raider.
need to play Uncharted 2.
That's fine. I'm not on Uncharted right now. I'm on Tomb Raider
The
and
boring,
Last
the
of Us.
boring one, the boring Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider's actually really good.
So
though.
there's a couple guards there, and they're looking away from me because they're shitty guards. And so I shoot one in the back of the head with an arrow.
Sure.
And the other one goes, "What the fuck?" And then an arrow hits him in the face.
Yeah.
Because I shot him really quickly, and he dies. You know what didn't happen? 50 clickers from the other side of the map didn't come streaming from every orifice and find me magically no matter where I was.
Well, maybe you
because Tomb Raider's a better game than Last of Us.
No one has ever said that. Who counted? No one. That makes
Well, I
no
mean,
sense.
people have said that as a game, The Last
As a
of Us
jo-
is not that good. As a story, better.
Yeah, but there's other good stories that I don't have to play a shitty game to.
I don't like
hear.
this side of the table.
Okay, you have just seen a death threat from Brian.
Why'd you?
The next is your neck.
I think that Last of Us is a fine game, and I have nothing else to say on this matter.
I would also like to recant my earlier statement.
Andy's sad because that wasn't my pen.
Oh, I thought it was his pen.
No, that was Andy's.
You always have a pen with you all
I
the
know,
time.
but Andy handily had a pen for me this time.
I thought it was like your pen.
Nope.
I see another pen over there. Don't make it. Saw what happened. I swear.
That's my pen too. Don't break my pen.
Hey, it's okay. We'll protect you.
It's like a perfectly good pen.
No, apparently it's a broken pen.
It was fragile.
I would have been more annoyed if there was ink that got everywhere.
Yeah, no. It looks like it was a pretty good pen because it did not break the ink can.
Oh, I snap pens for a living.
You know how to do that?
I don't. Yeah, I almost.
We could actually fix it because I think the other piece went out there.
Yeah.
Brian, go stomp over there with. You have shoes on. No, take off your shoes. Go stomp over there so you can find the piece of plastic that broke off the.
Well, the
pen.
problem with this pen is it's one of the ones where like you don't click it to retract it, you push in on the handle to retract it, and that's just weird to me.
Are you one of the people that tears off that piece?
No.
Pocket?
I can't wait to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Is it Zero Dawn? The name was such a weird.
Horizon Zero
Yeah,
Dawn.
I can't wait to play that game, enjoy the fuck out of it, have you play it, and find something to nitpick about it, and just have me like get annoyed again. Just can't wait for that.
The game's like I think over a 9 on Metacritic.
It's
I know
got some
really,
yeah,
really
It's
good
got
reviews.
robot dinosaurs. I
Yeah.
mean, what can be wrong?
And I heard the pacing's done really well, and the challenge level's pretty good. I've heard it hits a lot of sweet spots.
For a company that normally doesn't handle that type of thing.
Yeah.
I guess it
That was
plays
why I was
very much
wor-
like a BioWare game.
That's why I was kind of worried by it, because it's like, it seemed cool, but the company didn't really prove itself in that kind of genre before.
Who is it?
I
What did they do before? Like,
I think
you're
it's
making it sound like
Mammoth.
it's not an unknown company. It's a company that's known for other things. So,
Let me find out what it is.
Non-nuclear Nick mentioned, he said the pen like Mass Effect 3. If it liked Mass Effect 3, the pen would have been inserted somewhere. Underneath.
I didn't like Mass Effect 3.
You just knew it. It's violence towards
That's
people.
the punishment. You think the worst punishment a pen can inflict upon itself is being inserted into me?
Basically.
Okay. I am Pen Azkaban.
Yes. The new Mass Effect game is coming out, and people keep showing me videos on it. That's not going to end.
Their games are basically all the Killzone games.
Yeah, like first-person shooter kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they've really done. Is I looked at like their top games is let's see.
Kerr lost weight, people. Sorry, like where's Kerr?
Oh yeah,
No, he's just he's lazy. He's been doing stuff.
He's painting right now.
He's
Adepticon ready.
Yeah.
I need to paint the stuff I'm going to be playing in the team event. Chuck will be very upset with me if we don't get to play in the team event because I didn't paint my commandos.
I bailed at Adepticon because I couldn't
When is
paint enough.
Adepticon this year?
Next
24th.
24th and same week as ATC.
No one saw it coming. Clerical
4th
error.
of March, rather.
Yeah.
24th
Get to
of
the March.
March.
Yeah, it's coming later in March.
Oh, it was last weekend.
Yeah, we probably lost.
Sorry.
I'm currently going through my, oh my god, I have painted nothing this entire year. I now need to paint everything in March.
I have never. I looked at my score. I'm like, I could paint this by Adepticon, what I needed, but I've never been this unmotivated to paint before. Like I've never not wanted to paint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I paint a lot. All my stuff gets painted, but right now I'm just like, picking up a brush of paint seems like the last thing in the world I could do. I'd play Mass Effect 3 more than I would play paint. Right now. That's how much I don't want to paint right now.
I need to paint so much shit. I need to paint all my Conan models. I need to paint the rest of my minions. I got 2 units of Nis Hunters. If anybody wants to buy an unassembled brand new unit of Nis Hunters, $20.
Or a Guild Ball team. I'm selling Guild Ball team.
I'll charge $20 to assemble them.
That's why I bought a new one for $20 instead. It was the same $20, and I might recoup my losses on the eBays.
I'm gonna make another haphazard attempt to try to get rid of my minions. Not my minions, my mercs. Yeah. I keep keeping and unkeeping my stuff flicks, and I'm always on the line. Do I want it? Do I not want it? Do I want
Keep
it?
your
do I not
stuff
want it?
flicks.
I don't think I'm ever gonna play them. Like I'll play some Scorn, but I don't think in the next year plus I have any intent of playing those things. And I can see lots of Scorn in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't see one. I don't know.
I
tried.
have Blood Bowl Sudden Death expansion new in shrink wrap. That's apparently a collector's item.
Wait.
I don't know if you have the one or not, but
It's out of print. Super rare. Legit, yo.
I think I need foul play. I think sudden death is the one I already have.
there's 3 of them. 3 expansions, so I don't know. Or 2, but there's a few. There's 2 to 3. One has stadiums, one has undead, one has other things. That's the life. We played board games today. That's another topic. It was fun.
We did. We played 3, and everybody won at least one. There were 3 of us. We played 3 games, and everybody won a game.
And all 3, we invited Andy to board games. He turned it down. So
I did see one game on there, Samurai Swords. I wasn't interested in playing Samurai Swords.
Brian told me to invite you specifically because he thought you would like it.
He would play like that.
It's early 80s Ameritrash dice throw.
Yeah, you like those kind of games.
I swear it just I swear I thought it was basically like Risk, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that now.
It's like
it's ancient, or not ancient, but it's
feudal Japan.
Yeah,
There's a few extra elements that make it beyond Risk. There's a lot of games that are like, I mean, it's a war game, so it's like
yeah,
Risk.
it's more like Access Knowledge than Risk because you have different units that have different combat values. You have an economy.
Yeah.
So.
I wasn't. Well, plus I had some editing to do for the.
I just wanted to include you, but now you denied one Sunday. Now you're out for the next 12.
Yep.
You can't. People get one out of 13 weekends. They get invited.
Do you want to play Twilight Imperium?
If we can make a plan for it for a day,
We're playing March 12th.
We're playing March 12th.
Maybe.
Max, you're invited too. Twilight Imperium.
Sure, let's do it.
You want to play it?
Well, we have 6.
You know
I have one
anything
other
about it?
person.
I know that
6 is a good amount.
All right, because
It's one of those games that will destroy friendships occasionally.
No.
Well,
It's not diplomacy.
It's a Cold War game. It's a game where you have to be willing to go, I'm not going to roll a die for the next 3 hours and be okay with that. Because if you're like, man, I'm bored, I'm going to roll some dice. You just lost the game, and the person that you did that to just lost the game.
Right, because it's an everybody for themselves area control war game. So
Gotcha.
what can always happen in those is we're playing like this, and I just go YOLO, and I attack you. Even though it doesn't help me win, all it does is fuck me further and ruin your chances at winning. So then, yeah, you're angry at me. But that's going to happen that'll happen in worker placement Euro games. Like, that can happen in any board game. The issue is that Twilight Imperium takes, 6-8 hours to play. Yeah. And so if that's hour 7, you get angry about that.
Yeah. And, I mean, but there is a right time to attack in that game, and you can kind of appreciate when someone finally does the right move. When they just do something asinine because they're bored, that's what just causes just...
Don't play the game with Jim.
Or you can't play with
Jeremy.
Jim or Jeremy.
I would never play that game with Jeremy Shea.
Jeremy would be the worst person. Jim would get frustrated at the game itself, but Jim would like it for other reasons and be annoying, but Jeremy would ruin the game.
Right, because, yes, Jeremy would randomly attack Jim. Is
Yeah.
what would happen, 100% guaranteed, and then they both would ruin the game for everybody else because of that. But no, 6 is the right amount to play it with, or 8, because there's an expansion that you can go up to 8, and I think you always want the full 6 or the full 8.
I heard 5 was wonky.
2 expansions.
Okay, cool.
Multi-manager, but yeah, 6 is good.
So if you two are in, and I have a new friend, Oh, bro, I made a new friend. His name is it's another Nate.
We could have had 4 Nates and you and one other person. If you got
At some point, that's a goal for a game.
just all Nates.
I would win that game so fucking hard. My kill Nate's if newbies, because when newbies there, I get fucking turned bloodlust and just start destroying things. So newbie erases it and then just continue on the other Nates. It would just be like carryover.
Sure.
It would just roll.
When you see Nate Newbie, your instincts just go murder Nate.
Yeah,
And
it just amplifies. Fucking newbie. He's a good guy, but I love killing him in games. We played games for entire days. We kept all that happened all day is I just went off of destroying Nate for 8 hours. It was beautiful.
Yeah, you said Firefly. You just
Slaughtered him.
piggybacked on top of him and just punched him every round.
Uh-oh.
For hours and hours.
I just realized that I have not ordered my Chipotle yet.
You have it to the end of March. You have
Until the end of March?
Yes.
All right.
You got to call them up and pick a weekend to order it.
Yeah, you got time.
Maybe during Twilight Imperium.
Well, the problem there is you'd have to we're going to start a Twilight Imperium at 8, and we can't really, or 8 or 9, we can't really stop. And you stop and get food, but that wouldn't be a good. And
It's not for a
if
lunch.
we do you want a podcast that night? Because if it's a yes, then we couldn't stop.
Oh,
for
that's
lunch.
it's on a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
Oh, I don't like Sundays for gaming.
It's actually I like it when we start early because I mean the goal of our group Sunday board game, it didn't work today because we have enough. It's to play usually one big game.
Yeah.
Instead of playing 3 or 4 little games, it's okay. We're going to play a 6-hour game or a 5-hour game, a Fury of Dracula, this or
Go through Shadows and go through the Tridarian expansion.
yeah. I mean,
that would.
I mean, any kind of just big.
Because weekday evening board gaming, you're going to play maybe a 2-hour game, maybe, but usually you're going to play smaller stuff. And so that's what like I said, the point of Sundays is let's play Twilight Imperium, let's play Dune, let's play
I want to get
Samurai Sword.
I want to get a StarCraft out there in the next couple months and a Fury of Dracula out there in the next couple months. Those are my personal.
I have not played the new version of Fury of Dracula.
It's very similar in feel.
Yeah, there's subtle differences like all the games, but man, I wish I could play that game about that game and Battlestar. I wish I could get it about every 3 or 4 months. They're both great games, but you can't play either of them that often. You just can't play a ton of Battlestar, I don't think. But man, I
I thought of a perfect reskin for Fury of Dracula.
Is it Garibaldi fleeing from the Austrian police?
No, it could be...
Oh, because somebody already did that.
No, it could be... a reskin for that one could be... You would change the map so it would just be the UK, and just have it be about Jack the Ripper.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's called Scotland Yard.
I was going to say it's good.
Or Letters of Whitechapel.
Yeah, there's like
No, but is it exactly... Is that how it's
Letters
played?
of Whitechapel was pretty much exactly Fury of Dracula.
Really? Okay.
Scotland Yard is Fury of Dracula, but
With no combat cards or
but
anything.
30, but like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Whitechapel is about an hour and a half, and Fury of Dracula is 3 to 4 hours. So they're all different. They're miniature versions. I mean, Scotland Yard is the simplest. Everybody just moves tokens. There's no cards.
Yeah, there's no
And
cards.
that's an old game, too,
Yeah.
isn't it?
In
From what I
Whitechapel,
understand?
yeah.
I think
80s?
the first edition of Fury of Dracula is actually older than Scotland Yard. Because first edition Fury of Dracula is actually pretty old.
Because it was way. It's
Yeah,
an old game. And what's neat about what Letters from Whitechapel and Last Friday which is another kind of one versus many hidden movement, is they have phases where you have like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, different things happen. There's still the same concept of hidden movement stuff, but because there's different, like Whitechapel has like X amount of days and you're trying to catch murders, and if you don't get it by X amount of days, he gets away. But every day he murders someone, it gives you more clue because you kind of know where he did it on the map. So all these kind of neat things.
In Garibaldi, my horse gets stuck in a swamp and then my wife dies.
Yeah.
Heart attacks.
I like those kind of games. Like those are the kind of games I can play. In general, I could play one of those games a month with hidden movement games. I like them, but I can't. Like I could play like 8 hidden. I could play Terraforming Mars for 8 hours. But those kind of games I like, but I just not back to back. Like I like Last Friday because it's Friday the 13th themed. It's obviously not. But I mean, I couldn't even play that more than like once every couple of months, and I like that game. It's just those games.
They didn't get the rights though, right? So like you're fighting against Blaise and Voorhees.
Yeah, it's just a dude. Yeah, it's just a dude with a machete and some kind of mask.
Yeah. Could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
Hunting camp counselors down.
Michael Flyers.
Was it
Jenny
you that
Juger.
were talking about this? That the horror game that's very similar to Friday the 13th. I cannot think of the name of it suddenly for some odd reason.
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight has Michael Myers.
Cool.
That's one of the new killers that they added to it was Michael Myers to it.
I watched a bunch of more videos on the Friday. I cannot wait for the Friday the 13th game. I played in the beta and I loved it. And they just had a big video at one of the cons where they showed a bunch more footage and stuff from the beta, what they learned and changed. And man, I'm gonna just play the fuck out of that game when it comes out. I might quit my job.
I heard more clicking.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure what you were doing.
Can I see that for a
What are you
minute?
doing? No!
Eventually, he has to go to his own pen. Eventually, I'll wear through all these decoy pens and microphones.
My pens! They're not decoy pens!
Well, that's why they're decoys.
I will sacrifice wave after wave of Andy pens to protect my pen. I'll break them myself to assert dominance.
But yeah, it was. I mean, it's fun. I do like the concept of Sunday. I mean, it's just like those big games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. I mean, board games are fun. That's a bold statement we just made.
Somebody in the chat wants to know if we played the Batman miniature game.
Nope.
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 I haven't done any of the... They seem intriguing because it's small model count. It's not...
The last couple
related.
cons, people have played. Not us, but people I know, like the Ackers, have played with what's his name from St. Louis.
Well, Colin was big into it, I
Chris
think,
Green
too.
is
Colin
into
was
it. Colin's into it. They've been playing the Marvel one, but it's the same. It's the same rules as the Batman one. It's just not crossing the streams. But they have a ton of fun playing those games. And the miniatures, some of the miniatures are just amazing.
Not that game, but a couple days ago, Monolith, who did the Conan game, announced that they got the rights to do a Batman game using that same rest system with like the gem pools and everything.
Okay.
So that's pretty exciting because I like that system.
Well, we can both back it, and then I'll eventually just sell it mine
We could
anyway.
reskin Fury of Dracula and then have everybody playing villains, like 5 villains versus Batman.
No, versus Dracula.
Versus Dracula.
Batman's not involved at all.
No, but I think it would be kind of funny. Is it like Batman is the hidden one, and all the villains have to go and perform their crimes, while Batman has to apprehend them.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So they're moving publicly, and then every once in a while, like one of them, like Batman just jumps on him, and the others go, there he is!
That's how Last Friday
Exactly,
worked.
yeah.
Anyways.
So it's always the stalking phase of Last Friday, as opposed to the campers going after the killer.
Actually, I would love that game. I think that game would be amazing.
That could be a good game.
Yeah.
Make it.
There's some, hidden movement games are fun. I definitely, depending on the time, I prefer, because Skyline Yard is nice, but it's literally, there's nothing special. It's just move, try to figure things out.
Baby's first hidden movement game.
Yeah, and then the more advanced you get. It all depends on how much time in a day you have and how dedicated. Because I guess, like Fear Dracula, I could sit and play that for 4 hours and be happy the entire time. But some people would be like, I'm bored now, because I just, the intensity, they can't.
Well, I've seen that happen, but it's usually because I think sometimes people sit down to play Fury of Dracula and think it's going to take an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then come hour 3, and the game's not... they're like, oh, I did not understand that I was devoting a day to this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you have to go in with the right mentality.
It's one of my favorites of the bookshelf GW games.
And you can, although I did infuriate Jeremy in Fury Dracula, which made the game more fun for me.
What?
He was so infuriated because I kept escaping from him. It was like it was you and him.
Yeah.
Well, at one time it was like the combat. A lot of it's paper rock scissors, and I just literally. I was fucked against Nathan, but I just literally played the one card that saved my bacon, and also extended a bunch of time. And then some other fun things happened, and then Jeremy kept getting mad. He's like, "Well, you could never kill Dracula." Like, if I keep guessing right, no. But it's like I'm literally just pulling numbers out of my ass, and they just happen. I'm paper rock scissors and winning. That's not And eventually, eventually you can run Dracula out of papers or rocks, and you get the odds. It just there wasn't enough people to gang up on me because otherwise if you could just get luck out of it constantly, then it wouldn't be any fun. But theoretically, you could wear down the resources and things, but they just didn't have the positioning to fully, do that.
Yeah, because I was the one who was most in the position to attack you, and I was the weak little girl who was already half dominated by you. It's Mina coming at him with a rifle, and it's just not going well for her.
All you have to do is get bit once more, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. Any other? So that's any random topics. Oh, you'll be annoyed by this, but I was at Nathan's house. We gamed to about 1:30, and then on the way home, I drove by Star Cinema and just popped in and saw a movie. I saw Get Out.
God damn it!
Well, I was by the theater, and it started at 1:45.
We were talking about it before he left.
Yeah.
Like, after we finished board game, we talked about it.
Texted me.
I
would have dropped Chris like a bad habit.
Well, the thing was, I was on the way back there. I have one of the most annoying things in my pocket. I had a free pass to a movie. It doesn't reach its pocket. But my pass, I had a free pass to a movie that I couldn't cash in online. So I had to walk into the theater. So at Nathan's house, I looked and see were there 3 seats together because maybe we could have went, and there was none, but there was some scattered ones, some like solos. So on the way home, I said, "Screw it!" I pulled in. I was actually able to use a ticket, a free pass that I had I've been sitting on for months because who the fuck you can't just walk into a theater and buy a ticket anymore. That concept is out the fucking window. So I saw my opportunity to blow it, and it was a good movie. It's a good horror movie. I was hesitant because it's still at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and typically movies that are 100% on Rotten Tomatoes that are horror movies are usually not that good. They just have a very snob approach to horror. Or they're very elitist horror.
Non-Euclidean Nick just dropped a spoiler in the chat. Luckily, I don't know who that actor is, so it's not a spoiler for me. But
all right,
he's the dad.
That was great.
You motherfucker!
He's going to die at some point.
So anyway, so it's a good horror movie. What was it? So
I'm never invited on the cast.
Nathan,
I was feeling bad because Max hadn't said anything in a while. Like, Max could have worded that wise. No, fuck you. No more talking.
So Nathan had made a joke, but we should go see Get Out, but then laugh at all the inappropriate times. Because obviously it's about the white guys, hypnotizing, taking control of the blacks, and we thought we'd laugh and that was funny.
Yeah.
But I'm watching the show, and I walk in there. The first thing I realized it's me and a lot of old white people, which was a little bit creepy. And they were watching this movie, and I swear to God, when the main character finally starts turning the odds against the whiteys and starts taking them out, the guy next to me was like, every time you got to kill, I was like, oh, come on now. And I was like, holy fuck,
Did you not know what this movie was, sir?
He was like so upset that the black guy was fighting his way to freedom against all the whiteys, and I was like, I cannot. And he wasn't joking. He was like just disdain and upset. He was just sad and upset. I was like, wow, I was really uncomfortable. And I almost wanted to text Nathan. I was like, it's happening right now. Our joke is happening, but it's not ironic. It's actually terrible. It was amazing.
Travis was one. We could talk about that. Well, whatever. So Muse complained about the assault rule on their last episode, and I didn't listen to it because I don't listen to podcasts because they're invariably terrible.
Oh, spoiler. Warmachine talk.
But only briefly.
Yeah.
But because this is kind of bullshitty. So the hilarious thing with assault is like, so let's say you're a steelhead cavalry,
Okay.
and you charge in with your assault, and you miss, and then you shoot and kill your steelhead halberdier who's granting you flank, and that blows ass. So now let's look at storm lances. You charge in, you assault, you miss, you hit the other storm lance who's immune to it, and electro leaps back to your original target anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that screw me a couple of times in a game on Thursday. I was doing shock troopers into, of all things, Nemo 3.
Yeah.
So, I assault, with my shock troopers and get all in there, and of course, inevitably miss, kill some of my own guys, and then on retaliation, they just all die. And it's
Yes,
great.
so normally it's a risk against your own guys, which is annoying as hell. Like, it should probably just ignore everything about melee. Like, if you miss, you just miss.
Isn't that what it originally was?
It only ignores
Is
the
this
plus
something
4.
we just didn't realize in Mark II?
I think people might have been playing it wrong, but it just ignores the penalty. It does not ignore redistributing.
Okay.
I don't remember all the way back to Mark 1.
Sure.
But I know in Mark 2 it just ignores the penalty. But the fact that it's a benefit for electrical things, because they're like, I missed you, I'll try again. Oh, good, I hit this other guy, so now I hit you anyway.
Who you probably the back arc of your own guy.
Yes. So you get 2 chances to hit your target because it's going to just leap back to anyway. Now, it might be a little weaker, like a POW 10 instead of a POW 12, but
Sure.
whoopty shit, right? You get 2 cracks at the egg.
Yeah.
Just more strength for storm lances.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about storm lances on Wednesday of what we thought might be in a okay
You don't have to have
change on them.
And I really, really hope when they nerf them, not if, obviously, when they nerf them, they buff up some other stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do feel bad for the Signar players. Which I shouldn't. Like, I should say, fuck you for running Storm Lances again, you uncreative dickhole. But some of the ones I talk to really want to bring Sword Knights. They really want to bring Long Gunners. They really want to bring other stuff, but it's just wrong.
Until they break or nerf Haley 2 and 3, I don't care. The whole faction can just keep suffering.
Well, the same thing there, too, right? Like,
but they should get some. They
Haley
should.
2 and Haley 3 are too good, but it's also a shame that Cray is bad.
Yeah. No, they should get better. They should buff them
And
up.
everyone wants to play Cray because he's
at the
the
same
best
time-
model in the entire
Yeah.
game.
Right, especially if you put him up the wrong direction on that rock. Like, he has to be going up on the rock, not down, I think.
Yeah.
My belief though is that storm lances are kind of the Crick's Mark II
More
Bane
Banes,
thralls.
yeah.
They're really, really good for their points. They're really good at what they do. They fit that awesome, ridiculous niche.
And it turns out they're good against everything.
So exactly.
You can take them no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, they're good against armor. They're good against troopers. I mean, it's yeah.
Well, and, the hilarious thing, every time they get, like, a new caster or a new solo that grants some ability, you go, oh, man, this spell would be great if I... Oh, you know what? No, just Storm Lances. Never mind. It's just best on Storm Lances.
Exactly.
Like, don't bother thinking about what happens if you put that spell onto Sword Knights. Don't bother thinking about just fucking Storm Lances.
Yeah,
Snipe, great on them. Arcane Shield, great on... Like, everything. Because they're already the best.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always obnoxious when something's just so much better than everything else. With it, it's like what I would like the option to play. I mean, I guess if you want to go to a faction, not spend much money, it's nice because you're like, well, I don't need to buy all of their infantry.
Yeah, it's Signar and Circle. You get 8 different models, and then you're done.
Yeah,
You're
I
good.
mean, so it's pretty. So for efficiency, money wise, it's kind of a nice benefit.
A couple things that I wanted to make for them, and it's probably already maybe been said out there, but I would like to make it so only the lance has electro leap,
Sure, not the gun.
not the gun. I would like it if, and this is not a thing for against storm lances, but I'd like electrical immune things. You can't bounce lightning off of them.
Sure.
You can't use them for to the initial target, and if lightning bounces to them, it doesn't count.
You would
It
like
just stops.
all the guns that cause leaps to say, if it directly hits a non-electrical immune target, then X bounces happen.
Correct.
Right. So if you hit something that's electrical immune, it just doesn't spawn any lightning.
Nope, it just stops. It just gets grounded immediately right then and there.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's
It's extremely abusable.
It makes a lot of sense, though. Like, I don't like to give Andy's ideas credit, but I think that's a very good idea.
And people point out that, like, in the fluff, like, they actually legitimately do that tactic. Like, they hit each other to bounce electricity because they're immune. So, like, it makes rules. So it's fluff-wise, but it's just so goddamn abusable.
It's egregious.
It is
at
egregious.
points.
Turns out not rolling to hit is the best rule in the game.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, anytime you can succeed without dice is great, because you don't rolling dice is the problem. And if you, I mean, quote unquote problem, obviously, but I mean, the more you can do that auto happen is the better.
It might be less egregious if there weren't so many bouncing guns. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like the Stormlances having Electro Leap and all these other things having Leap. The Fireflies and Ladder. More like, if there was like just the spells, like, okay, if you're Chain Lightning off your Firefly, sure, you're going to get 1 or 2, good on ya. But when you have 2 units of Stormlances and Lattimore and 4 Fireflies, and they're all leaping 50 times off of this one model, it's like, all right, no.
Yeah. So and also if it is an electrical immune, I want that model to possibly die. You know, if that model is knocked down next to somebody's caster and getting hit by like a ton of lightning, and you want it to bounce off of it, that model should have a chance to die.
Yeah, but then you get
Potentially,
weird where you have to, like, but you see, you want, like, electrical immunity to be, like, you do a tough check, basically, and if you fail it, they still take the damage?
No. I'm saying, like, if you want to use that tactic,
Oh, right.
I
You
want
make
that.
it illegal to do against electrical immune, so you have to do with one that isn't electrical
Correct.
immune so that you're risking death. Gotcha.
Yeah. It puts a little risk in your action there. And that's really it. Because I mean, if you take off, I think you and I talked about this. If you take
Similar
off
to that would be having leaps still go to them and count against leaps, as opposed to ignoring them. Like if you shoot a non-electrical immune thing and there's 4 electrical immune things next to it and a non-electrical immune thing 4 inches past them, currently it ignores all those guys to hit the non-electrical immune, whereas it used to hit those electrical immune guys, not hurt them, but use up leaps.
Yeah.
Which also cuts down on the egregiousness.
Yeah. Yep. The one thing I think it was maybe you and I that talked about it was the fact that if you make it so only the lance itself does the electro leap, it brings a case for it to bring out Tempest Blazers.
Sure.
Because they're the ones with the gun with electro leap on them.
Yep.
The fact that model can assault in electro leap, impact hit electro leap, main attack electro leap.
Yep.
It's just way too much.
They get 6 attacks each minimum.
Yeah. Way
Like
too
that's assuming they don't impact attack 2 or 3 things.
correct. And the electro leap off of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just way too much for the points and
electrocute
armor
off of
that
their
they have.
impact attacks.
They might not electro leap off the
I
impact.
think that's
No,
just
those are
striker-
melee attacks.
right, but isn't electro leap on the weapon,
Yeah.
not on the model?
I have to
Even
double check.
still, like charge.
It's still so many. Yeah.
It's a ton, and that's Warmachine.
But yeah, electro immune. No more bouncing. I think that should be. It should just be grounded the second something electro leap or something hits it.
Yeah.
And that would be that. It wouldn't actually nerf them into the ground. It would, they'd have to change their
Yeah.
tactics up a little
It just
bit.
makes you
But we still
adjust tactics.
We still have the problem that they're still better than everything else.
Well, yeah.
Better
I'd say
than
yeah,
what
little
else they
things
have in
like
the
drop them down to defense 12 while putting blades up to defense 13.
That's
And-
the thing with
and
the infantry.
guard,
Yeah, they have weird stats. Signar has such weird stats. They always have, though.
The Storm Guard, like, I think the Silverline should always have Polarity Shield. I don't think they should need the base-to-base thing to trigger it, because then, like, a Polarity Shield unit's really good. Like, they got a
Yeah.
gimmick, but, you still just shoot them to death. But at least it's something. Also, like, the Silverline Storm Guard, the fact that they get added range on their gun for hitting you with melee. It's like, well, and? like, I'm in melee with you. I guess maybe if I want to shoot one of your choir in the back lines, it's useful, but...
Yeah, I mean, both of them, like, the concept is kind of cool. Like, you charge in and you charge up by hitting people, and then your captain guy does some kind of shot to do something else.
Well, you have to walk into it because you can't
Yeah.
charge and shoot, though. So, but still, yeah.
He doesn't even have a rule that allows him
he
to
has-
do
he has
that. I think
Gunfighter.
he has.
Oh, he does. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Gunfighter, or yeah.
Never mind. I wasn't
But the
sure.
problem
I
is,
wasn't
like,
sure.
what does that actually
You don't
accomplish
see that
that
on
you
the table
want
much
to do?
anymore.
Because you don't see them on the table because they aren't Storm Lances. Yeah.
Well, you don't see them because they're not storm blades, even.
That's the thing is you see Storm Lances, you see Trenchers, and you see Storm Blades, and that's it. Mm-hmm. You never see any other Signar infantry ever.
No long gunners ever again.
No long gunners, no Rangers, no.
I use Rangers, but
Why? Your Storm Blades are already Rat 8.
No. But my Rangers are in my Magnus.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Magnus
that's fine.
Force.
Yeah.
After Signar rejected all of them, we're like, whatever. We don't need these guys. We got these guys on horses.
They need a small massaging down. They don't need to get annihilated. Defense 12, maybe defense 12 and lose Electro Leap on the guns, and then improve some other stuff. Give that extra point of defense to the guys on foot.
Do something for Storm Guard.
Yeah, like I said, always polarity shield for Silverline. I don't know what you do with the other ones, but
Yeah, what do they even do? Like, they get +1 POW for a gun that they shoot at some point, and I guess the leader has quick work.
yeah, he's got quick work, and then he gets the powered up gun, right? So they all kill somebody, and then he kills somebody, and then gets to shoot with.
But it starts at like a POW 6, so
Really?
yeah. I mean, it's an AoE 4, so that blast damage could be kind of cool, but
Power 6? Jesus. Like, fuck
oh no, it
man.
just gains +1 POW, not even +1 damage.
Right. So, like, if the whole... fuck it, man. Start him at, like, a POW 10. If the other 9 members of the units hit somebody, take that POW 19 to
seriously.
somebody's face. You fucking earned it.
Yeah, and they have
Right?
set defense instead of polarity shield, so they're even worse on that
Yeah.
side as well.
Fuck him, man.
Yeah.
Polarity shield all the time on Silverline. Bump that guy up to, like, a POW 10 or something.
Yeah.
Make them all defense 13 instead of 12. Make the horse ones defense 12. These aren't
Yeah.
crazy things to do.
Like something that might be cool for the rifle dudes anyway. I like giving like precision shot or something like that, so that way they're still useful against warjacks and warbeasts at least a little bit by shooting them in their hopes and dreams or their cortex at range. And then if they do have infantry, they can potentially do something.
The long gunners?
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor long gunners.
Because I mean that POW 20 double tap is pretty cute, but if it doesn't go in the right place, it's just not going to do anything.
Yeah, you can even have, like, I don't know. Never mind. Nope, yeah, just precision strike, whatever. I was going to say, like, have it only when they CRA, but if you're not CRAing, you can still have it. Who the fuck cares at that point? You're doing 1 or 2 damage, go ahead and pick it. Because I don't think there's anybody else who just has such a dearth of quality drop in every category. Well, the casters, like, you do your Haley 3 and Haley 2, and then maybe one of the Canes or something, maybe Nemo now or Maddox, but...
Well, Nemo 3 is really surging up because of all the lightning.
Surging.
Yeah.
Wah-wah.
It's a horrible drink from the 90s.
Surge!
Yeah.
You can still get it, I think.
Yeah, you
Came
can.
back.
I'm gonna be
That and
rude.
Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was showing him that image.
Bill Paxton died.
Oh.
Yeah,
We
unfortunately.
can still hire Bill Pullman, though.
No, I think that... so...
I mean, no more Independence Day movies now.
No, but...
I put it to you that you died.
horrible thing. As I was typing into the tweet where I put in R.I.P. Bill Paxton, it had R.I.P. Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
I almost took it instead because it was in the suggested content. That
We could, you know what, to keep the continuum alive. We could just go murder them today. We still have a few more hours to make sure they die the same day.
Yeah, it's true. Well, what time zone is he in?
That's fair. If someone has a location of Bill Pullman, please let us know. His life is in danger, mostly by us, but that's not the important part here. He's traveling against the time zones now to save his life.
It would be hilarious if somebody unrelated to us murdered Bill Pullman tonight. It's like when the Topper's Pizza burned down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that, except we burnt that down.
Shut up!
I mean, not really.
Statute of limitations!
Yeah, you gotta wait for a couple more years for that. I mean, come
I
on.
suppose.
Jeez.
Indeed.
But yeah, no, Bill Paxton. That sucks.
It does. He made some pretty good movies.
I'm surprised.
Ghostbusters.
Groundhog's Day?
Yeah.
Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Gonna mix it with Bill Murray now.
Apparently.
I was not thinking about Bill Murray. I don't know.
Then what?
He played Slimer.
What?
He played Slimer.
What?
I think it's
How many times are to say it? Look at IMDb. He was the voice of Slimer. Who?
Bill Pullman?
Bill Paxton. He was the voice of
That's the
Slimer.
guy from Independence Day?
No. The guy- the
What word
guy-
are you saying?
He was the voice of Slimer in Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Is what I'm saying.
I thought you said Slaughtermer, and I'm like, who
Slimer.
the fuck is Slaughtermer?
Slimer's
Not the voice
brother.
of Slimer.
He is the voice of Slimer.
Bill Paxton is not the voice
Yes,
of Slimer.
he is.
No.
All right, go in.
Was he Slaughtermer?
It's one of the background ghosts, actually.
Anyway,
But no, I've seen a lot of people like reminiscing about his films.
Oh, I didn't write down times. I forgot how this
that
works
doesn't matter
now.
anymore.
when he died, he died about 8 hours ago.
I'm pretty sure that one's recorded, Nathan.
But no, like there are people like talking about like all his movies and that. And The Simple Plan pops up,
Yeah.
which is a really good film.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about Aliens, Terminator.
Yeah,
and
but Simple
other-
Plan and Frailty are the two ones that eke through.
I think Frailty.
I prefer Frailty more than Simple Plan, but a Simple Plan is a good movie. It's just it's one of the movies like I could watch Frailty multiple times and enjoy it. Simple Plan, it's not really one of those I can just jam through and keep rewatching.
Right. Fair enough.
I feel that Frailty is probably even lesser known than A Simple Plan. Simple Plan is, I mean, it's just Bill Paxton's film. I mean, I guess maybe people who are really big fans of Matthew McConaughey might watch it.
Well,
but,
you mean Frailty. You said Simple Plan.
No, but
Frailty is the Bill
But I
Paxton.
mean, like Frailty has got it's Sam Raimi. It has Billy Bob. It has Paxton.
So are you trolling me, or are you continuing to say them for each other?
You're
What?
Simple Plan has Sam Raimi and Bill Paxton.
Yes,
You
that's
said
what I'm saying.
Frailty.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is the reason why I
You
feel
said
that
Frailty, right?
Yes.
No, I'm saying I feel like the reason why people have seen
Yeah.
I'm not intelligent enough to really try to do this.
I think Frailty is much more known than Simple Plan.
Really?
Yes.
I think Simple Plan fell by the wayside.
Really?
Like at the time, because it was Sam Raimi, and then Sam Raimi did Spider-Man, and everybody stopped caring about everything Sam Raimi did before that. That wasn't Evil Dead. It was Evil Dead and Spider-Man, and that's all Sam Raimi has ever done. Ever.
I mean, it's a good movie. Although the alternate ending is interesting, but... Ooh.
Is the plan complicated in the alternate ending?
No, at the end, because he gets back, they find out
plan worked?
They find out the money's marked, so they can't spend it. But then it turns out that the wife went to the store and bought like something, so he has to go to the store and kill the clerk, which is unnecessary. It's like one more dumb thing he has to do.
And is it a tie-in with Clerks? Like it turns out that it was at the Speedy whatever.
Now, when money's marked,
Like
they make it seem like if you spend a marked bill, they instantly know about it. Like money would just. And I'm like, I don't think you. I'm pretty sure you could siphon that off a little bit here and there. It's not going to pop up on someone's radar.
Yeah.
Well, at least back when the movie first came out.
Yeah, back to I mean.
Well, even that, it takes a while, right? Like, because they have to. If you spend money at my store, if it's a 20 or less, it probably stays in my cash register forever. Mm-hmm. Like. Only the big bills and 20s, when I have too many of them, go to the bank. Like, when we do our deposit every night, I don't give them 5s and 10s, right? I give them all the 50s and 100s and 20s, and I leave the money. And so you could spend that shit, and it's just going to rot there, and then eventually, when it does go away, it goes away into the pockets of random people who go spend it at other random stores.
Yeah, so I don't think. I'm sure that was mostly hundreds, but you can still. There's ways to spend it. I mean, it would be a pain in the ass, but you could filter that money out. It wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like they just burn it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
no,
just pull
you
an
could.
Archer and buy a lot of cocaine and then try to sell that cocaine and fail to sell that cocaine.
Yeah, exactly.
And just go to random stores and buy gift cards, $100 a piece. Like you go buy the Visa gift cards at a Walmart, and then you drive 100 miles and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drive in random directions so they can't even trace the direction you're going. Even if they were right behind you finding the $100 bills, they're not going to know where you're going next.
Yeah. Exactly.
We just need to find millions of dollars. We would know how to handle it.
Oh yeah, we would.
And I know you take the hooker's teeth out because that's how they identify bodies.
Split the money and fucking scatter different directions. Like, good knowing you. I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. Goodbye. We just fucking scatter instantly. Same thing with superpower. Same thing. You fucking okay. Good. You just fucking scatter because you know anything else leads to badness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I why don't I get a chance at villainhood? I know how to do it right.
Oh yeah. Let me burn this fucking place down. This house. And all the fucking pens in it.
Pens have always mocked me. I'll have my revenge.
Several
pens!
staples are vandalized on the way home.
House to house, break all the pens. What's happening? He's here for the pens.
Frailty's good though. Bill Paxton's good in pretty much everything, and he is so.
I never watched Big Love.
Big Love's a decent show.
I'm sure it's fine. It's just one of those things I just never
Yeah,
quite.
it's decent. I'm not going to tell you it has to be top of your list of things to watch next, but it's definitely worth watching. But I like the double layer trivia of trivia, and then it's wrong, and then it's kind of right again of people claiming that Bill Paxton is the only person to be killed by an alien, a predator, and a Terminator.
Oh.
because he was killed by an alien in Aliens, a Predator in Predator 2. So he's all about dying in the sequels, except in Terminator, where he was killed by Arnold. He's actually is he the first victim of Arnold? Yes.
Yeah,
he's the first victim of Arnold, if you consider the gut punch to be lethal, because Arnold punches him and then kills some other guys and then like throws him through a fence. Anyway, whatever. The point is, he dies to all three. Then people counter with Lance Henriksen, because in Alien versus Predator, he gets killed by a Predator. He's killed by a Terminator in the first Terminator, because he went in the police precinct. And then in Alien, and then here's where it breaks down, because the alien queen impales him and rips him in half.
He doesn't die to that.
It's arguably not lethal.
It's not. He's not dead from that. He's alive enough to hold conversations and basically,
Then he dies in a crash.
Correct.
Then he's resurrected and then killed again.
Oh, not resurrected. He's just fixed a little.
Fixed to the point, like it depends what's dead for a robot, right?
He's pretty dead, and the crash was caused by an alien.
Right. So the crash is caused by an alien. So a face hugger, to be specific, which I don't think that's a hair worth splitting, right? So, but then he's resurrected and killed by Ripley.
He's killed by an alien caterpillar.
He's killed in an Aliens film, so that's where it gets iffy. Like Ripley kills him. After he dies the first time to a crash, but the crash is caused by a face hugger.
And how's a face hugger smart enough to correct the play? Because usually they don't get smarter until they get bigger.
The face hugger doesn't intentionally crash it. The face hugger,
he's just on the ship.
He melts through the life support. He melts through the cryostasis chamber to impregnate Ripley, and then the ship sets off its fire alarms.
I think it was
the smoke. Like the acid causes smoke that causes the ship to emergency crash land because it thinks it's on fire.
That, and I think it's also set up by the whole thing was set up by the company in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's possible that the company may have just set it to go in a trajectory
if they had
to
like
crash.
remote, yeah. I mean,
on a remote
if you
planet.
go conspiracy theory, but the in-movie explanation is that the smoke from it melting into the cryostasis chamber triggered the anti-fire extinguisher or whatever, and then it emergency crash lands.
Seems awfully convenient for it to land on a prison planet that was only populated by maybe 20 prisoners. Very low population.
I mean, I assume it had something to look for, actually livable planets or something. There's only so many of those.
You're well known for hating movies for little things.
Yes.
That's sort of like your gimmick. And but you like Aliens 3, and I would think the gimmick of killing the characters from 2 would be hard to forget. I think 3 is a fine movie, but that detail is such a fucking annoying detail.
It is infuriating to lose Hicks and Newt right off the bat, because those are great characters.
And to lose them in such a nonsense way.
It is upsetting.
If they could landed them somewhere off and then moved on, and I would have been fine with the movie if they just weren't killed in that way.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be annoying they weren't there, but
they use it.
Correct.
I think the movie, it's hampered by that, and that was out of the movie's control.
Yeah.
I mean, but they, especially Newt's death, Hicks' death is just Hicks is dead, oh well. But Newt's death is a huge character issue for Ripley.
Yep, throughout the rest of the film.
And they do a good job with it, and I think it is a deeply flawed film, but especially when you watch the assembly cut and see what Fincher was going for when the studio wasn't just destroying his film out from underneath him. I think it's, because it's more of a horror film, right?
Yeah.
Alien's a horror film, and then Aliens is an action film, and then Alien 3 goes back to being a horror film. A bunch of unarmed people against an unstoppable monster.
Yep.
And it's just, I like it. It's flawed. It's probably the weakest. Man, Alien
Resurrection is pretty weak.
I'd say weakest of the 3.
Yeah.
I'm going. I
Weakest
go
of the 4?
No, I go hardcore Indiana Jones on this shit. It's a trilogy, and when you buy the trilogy, it comes with a coaster that you break in half or throw in the garbage, and then you watch the 3 movies that came out.
I love the concept of 4.
Yeah.
And I even like the beginning part. I like the mercs being on the ship and the things getting loose and the military getting under control. I like those elements, but they just execute so many things so bad. And the last third is so dumb.
If you read the original script, there's a lot of really interesting stuff in there.
Well, it's written by Whedon.
Yeah, and the original script has a lot of differences.
Well, yeah, if they would have called, they could have called that movie anything else then, too. They could have had, some kind of, like a biohazard or something like that. And just have the story revolve around those mercenaries. Because the mercenaries in that were great. They had a lot of character built up just from the small part that they were on the screen.
We didn't need Ripley. You didn't need Ripley, I think. I think bringing her back was done ham-handedly and unnecessarily. You can continue that mythos without her.
I think they were afraid to.
They were afraid to, and that's a shame because you can do that. Also, it obviously couldn't decide if it was a comedy or not because you have so much wacky, slapsticky things like people, like the general, who I forget the actor who plays him, but like there's all this wacky, slapsticky stuff, and it's just tonally all over the place.
Yeah. You can tell there was definitely too much influence that we're pushing it around.
But, no, and Aliens, I think, is the best of the three. And I think I like Alien 3 better than Alien. I really do. Because Alien is really atmospheric and really creepy.
It's also kind of boring.
It's also kind of boring. it's I have a couple... One thing that hits it really hard for me is there is an inexcusably bad shot in Alien.
What
and
is
I
one
know I'm
that-
going super nitpicky.
Wow, good job. But I'm excited. I'm
going super nitpicky.
Is it the alien standing up?
No, although it does look bad when you finally see the alien full suit. Like, it's all well disguised, and then when you see that it's just a guy with a fake tail and a rubber band hanging off the back of his head. So, like, that's bad. But no, what it is when Ash flips out and attacks Ripley and for some reason tries to choke her with porn. Whatever, that's fine. It's weird, it's symbolic, and he's penetrating her, sure, whatever. But they decapitate him. And they put his head on the table.
Oh, yeah, and they see that.
And then, well, it's fine. A fake head is there, and then the next frame, it's the actor's head through the table, and it's a jarring change, and they don't disguise it at all, because what's especially annoying is you see the back of a character, they put him on the table, the character crosses in front of the camera, blocks the screen for a couple frames, but it's still the fake head, and then they switch to the actor's head right there with nothing in the way. And it's jarring and terrible and just, it's inexcusable, because why did you not switch out the head while you had the camera blocked with the back of the character putting the character's head there?
Or just put the head, like the fake head, down from the back, and then
Just
change
block the
camera.
change the camera angle, or the fact that you have a character go in front of the camera, don't utilize that to disguise your cut, and then do a really bad cut to the live actor is just so inexcusably bad. And that's what it is. Like, bad shots exist, but there's no reason for that one because the director's good enough that he should have used that golden opportunity to make the cut hidden.
Yeah.
I was just about to say is like, thank God for Alien Resurrection at least, because then Michael Wincott has got a job.
Okay.
And that was the bad guy from The Crow. And then I was looking to see what he's done recently, and I'm just being flabbergasted. He was in Westworld.
Yeah.
He's in Ghost in the Shell. He plays the voice of Death in Darksiders 2.
Sure. There you
I'm
go.
like, what?
Yeah, he's been doing more stuff again.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he's been.
Is he the dad in Westworld?
He is Old Bill.
Oh, yeah. Good old Bill.
Yeah.
No idea.
Did you not see Westworld?
I saw Westworld. I don't remember.
He's the old, looks like a grizzled prospector that the doctor drinks with down in the storage place.
That's
Old Bill.
Oh, wow.
The one that's like old
Yeah,
generation,
yeah.
looks
Yep,
like
yep.
full-on Pirates of the Caribbean bad
Yep.
animatronic.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's Old Bill.
I had no idea that he was that person.
Now you do.
Now I do.
You've learned things.
I have.
Found a toenail.
What?
There's something stuck in my sock from your floor.
So you just threw it on my floor?
It was on your floor to begin with. I found it. I put it back where I found it. That's like
He's keeping the balance.
yeah. When you
gotta-
go camping, you leave things as you found them.
Who's picking their tonails during the podcast?
I assumed it was you. It's your house.
I don't pick my toenails in here.
I
special
clip
place.
them while we're podcasting.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I also clip
You guys
Brian's toenails while we're
You guys
podcasting.
talk about Warmachine. I start doing other shit. You know, I got something to do.
I'm betting it was one of the drunk faction reviews.
Yeah, maybe
Probably
Jeremy
a
Shea,
lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's Zappity Grumbles. Zappity. I don't know. Grumble.
What?
It's a valid counterpoint.
There's point counterpoint.
But yeah, last year Raylene and I watched all of the Alien and Predator films. And that was an up and down journey.
You watch the AVPs?
We watched all 4 Alien films, we watched all 3 Predator films, and we watched both AVPs.
Which?
Well, you missed one.
So things are.
You missed the movie.
That was not part of our marathon, but we watched it around the same time.
You need to make that part of your marathon now. And then
Fuck you.
and then just watch the trailer for the second one and be like, didn't you guys just tell this story previously and we hated it?
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the trailer for Alien Covenant looks like it's basically Prometheus again.
Also,
Dumb
it's
scientists
flat
wander onto a
out-
planet and get infected by all sorts of things.
But maybe it's a better version of Prometheus.
So the
Maybe
trailer shows the death scenes of at least 4 of the characters.
yeah.
Like just flat out, here they are dying. Like, where's any semblance of drama now when I see the film?
Alien versus Predator. First of all, I like the new Predator standalone movie. Kind of. I think
The Tobey Maguire one, Predators.
No, it's not Tobey Maguire.
yes, the Predators though. That's the one.
But
Yeah,
it's
with
not
Adrian
Tobey-
Brody.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that was.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like all 3 Predator movies.
But Alien vs. Predator, it's fun because the first one is so bad and dull and stupid and poor, and then the people who took control of it, like, man, we love these things, we're gonna do it right, and then all they did was make it gory, but then everything else sucked. Like they've man,
AVP 2, the one in the town, was like a Friday the 13th film, but with a Predator instead of Jason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I actually like that. Like, the first one is trashy, and it's kind of like if it was a sci-fi original. It was like watching an Asylum film.
Yeah.
Right? It's like watching Zombies or any of those terrible Asylum. Transmorphers,
Yeah.
Rise of Man. That's what that one is. But AVP 2 I liked it. It was fun.
I mean,
It was bad, don't get me wrong.
there are more. I can if AVP 1 and AVP 2 are on TV, I won't even flip to AV 1. I will flip and kind of keep 2 in the background while
Sure.
I'm doing stuff because I can appreciate a couple scenes here and there, but it's just such a shame that it could have been more.
The film you're looking for is a live non-Euclidean, Nick?
Yeah, is that what it's called? Yeah, Alive, with a lot of shockingly big name stars.
Yeah.
Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
The Thing in space, but not The Thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did any of us see, and I know I didn't, so did any of you see that movie whose title I'm blanking on, but what it was when they did the I'm going to describe it and we'll get there, people. I'm getting there. When they did the prequel to The Thing,
Yes.
and they had made all the practical effects, and then like the studio came in and go, well, that guy looks terrible, and they're like, well, that's because you're standing to the side where the camera's looking. It actually looks really good, and they're like, nope, bad, use CGI instead, and they fired the practical effects crew and made it all CGI and made it look like shit. So that's what happened to the Thing prequel. That effects crew went on Kickstarter and raised money to make a film, and they made a thing with like some people that find like a submarine in Antarctica or something, and it's basically just The Thing again, and it's the same thing but made by the practical effects crew that did the Thing films. Did either of you see that movie or remember what it's called?
Was it made a long time ago?
Within the
Is it
more
out?
than 5 less than 10 years
All
ago.
right. I have not, unless I was on a submarine.
It might not have. They find like a ship and there's a dormant evil thing, and I think it was a
There's a
submarine or
lot
ship
of
some
things
kind.
like that. I mean, I've seen.
I know, but the specific thing is a Kickstarted, and it's all practical effects, a la The Thing, because it was made by the people who did the effects for The Thing.
I'm probably not. Is it called Train to Busan?
No.
I've seen that movie. It's really
It's
good.
called A Practical Creature.
Is it Practical Magic? Is Nicole Kidman in it?
Hold on, I'm Googling Kickstarter
Well-
movie The Thing. This isn't working at all. This is terrible.
Harbinger Down?
Yes! Harbinger Down.
Harbinger Down. Is it on Netflix?
It might be. I don't know. But apparently none of you guys saw it. But it was topical.
It's yeah.
There's something I would really want. I want them to update Alien 3 with some new graphics. I want a new version of Alien 3.
Thawed from ice after 3 decades, mutated creatures recovered from a piece of Soviet space wreckage terrorize a group of graduate students on a fishing trawler. So they're on a boat, but they find something from space.
It's a pretty rough rating though.
Yeah, and it is. And what probably is good practical effects doesn't mean that you know how to write or direct.
Yeah.
It's probably what it is. And so I was curious if any of you had seen it.
But no.
Oh, 2015. Never mind. It was only 2 years ago. Fuck.
Speaking of movies, and we were talking about Jim before, I have found the second person in the world that I know of that does not like John Wick.
He said he didn't hate it though. He's not at the gym level.
Yeah, he was.
I was studying some messages and I was like, seriously, dude.
I think he'll eventually turn around to actually hate it. I think they'll get up to the point.
Gargathor.
Jason.
I will say the Gargathor knew Jim didn't like it, and Gargathor is kind of a Jim fan on a lot of things. Like, he really wants to know what Jim's opinions on things before he does things.
Sure.
So I really feel that had a big influence.
What's not to like about John Wick?
When I've been watching other movies, and I can't stop noticing edits now.
Yeah.
Like the quick edits and how things cut.
Like when Liam Neeson jumps the fence.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's not because of John Wick. I mean, obviously John Wick still has edited things, but they let action scenes play out longer. Like, you're seeing more without cuts. Now, so everything I watch, regardless of if it's an action, a drama, whatever, comedy, I'm constantly seeing cuts constantly, and it's like it's ruining everything about everything, and it's bugging the fuck out of me.
That's how they make the action sequences seem more intense. They're throwing so many punches.
Well, there's a way. I mean, there's this like a subtle way of doing it. I mean, obviously John Wick is just subtle on cuts, and everything else, I don't know. It's ruined everything for me. My side comment.
Yeah, there used to be a website that tracked the average shot length in films.
Yeah.
Just to see how long they would hold a shot. And like for a while, Armageddon had the record of the shortest average shot length because it was like a second and a half, like on average.
Yeah, maybe I should, because I'm also the person that showed John Wick to Jim, so maybe I'm no longer allowed to show people John Wick. I think I've...
Maybe you just ruin it. Like, you hype it up or something? I don't know.
I didn't really say anything about it at all.
I don't know.
Well, you can't bring up movies you want to show. Well, you can't say, do you want to see something, Jason, with Jim around, because it's going to just create this negative atmosphere going in.
Yeah, if it's a movie that Jim doesn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim is fine to like what he doesn't like, but he's just so annoying about it. He's like Nathan's kind of funny about it, but Jim's just sort of a downer and annoying about it. There's a big difference.
Well, like Nathan, you want to watch it and prove him wrong.
Yeah.
And Jim, you just don't want to watch it.
I just want to talk about it. Yeah, it's like if I know Jim doesn't want to, if Jim doesn't like something, I don't even have like a discussion about it. Like, I can talk about Last of Us with Nathan and break all of Annie's pens, any amount of time.
It's good times. Yeah. Good
but
times.
with Jim, it's just like, man, I just feel like I should just go home now and just not talk to people because it was such an unfun experience.
Yeah.
Zappity.
Zappity Grumble. Yep. I guess we have a couple of those.
I thought we had a bunch. I thought we had a bunch posted earlier.
We have
that's
what I just said. I said we have a couple of those.
Andy, what's the time thing?
The time thing?
Yeah, what time is it?
Minute 8. Give me about 20 seconds to get the...
What? It's maybe 8?
Minute 8.
Minute 8?
Yeah.
I don't think you mean a minute.
It's a code.
It's a code for an hour and 8 minutes. 68 minutes. Where did all the 71s go on the thingy? All right. Quick question here. Do I continue playing Star Wars Heroes even with the Fleet Battles glitch, which is really really annoying? Or should I play Star Wars Force Arena more?
Star Wars Force Arena is lame, and I talked to the guy a little bit. The glitch, I've seen the glitch happen like twice, and I win almost all my fleet battles in that game. There's a glitch where basically you attack and sometimes nothing happens, which is weird, but it happens pretty infrequently. It's still a fun. I still think Star Wars Heroes has been the best mobile game. It's a mobile game, but I played a bunch. Dan plays it a bunch. Jeremy plays it a bunch. It's a fun doodad game. I've actually thrown money at it. I've stopped doing that though, but I did throw some money at it here and there.
Well, you play a game enough.
I play it 3 hours a day, so I'm willing to every paycheck give it like $10 to $15 every so often. But it's yeah, they do different deals once in a while. And some are good and some are offensive.
This is a 2-part question. So Zappity, Grumble. Best Bill Paxton role.
We started kind of with that, but
You talked. Yeah. I liked him as the God's End Killer. I thought.
yeah, Frailty's hard to. Obviously, Aliens is amazing.
Obviously Hudson
Yeah.
is a great character. And then even like Chet from Weird Science.
Yeah, he's actually really good at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's part of the part where it turns into a good show as opposed
Yeah,
to a
Yeah,
he comes down when it starts getting good.
That was when Captain America hit, was
Yeah.
it? Yep, right around there.
turn.
It's been good since then. This season's been amazing. This last week's episode might have been the best episode of the show ever had.
I think
I
I'm
need
a
to get
couple
back
episodes
into it.
behind.
All right.
I told you about this, Max, didn't I? This last season's been amazing with Ghost Rider.
The first half is
Oh,
good.
I saw the first half.
Yeah,
I
the
just haven't
LMD
seen
stuff.
anything
The
since then.
LMD's been good.
Yeah.
But this last episode was just pure gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got off the part where basically all high command have been.
When let's say I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., should I get into it? It's always hard because the first like 3/4 of the season 1 is okay TV.
Yeah.
It's not. I would not call it bad, but I wouldn't call it great. It's a show that's mediocre with sparkles of good enjoyment.
Yeah, but the problem is that you need to watch that first 3 quarters.
But
in order to
then they
figure
turn
stuff
it
out.
in such a fun, exciting way, and then it's a pretty steady up. It still has some rocks here and there, but it's pretty much upward from there.
Yeah.
But it's like telling someone, watch about 17 hours of average TV, and then things get great. But it's like 17 hours that you really don't want to skip.
Yeah,
It's like having to do your homework to enjoy
Well,
the
Babylon
good
5,
show that
it's like
comes.
Babylon 5 seasons 2 through 4 are amazing. Season
Yeah.
1 is bland, but you really it's critical to watch 1 to
Yes.
appreciate 2 through 4. And I watched all of Babylon season 1, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty bland. And then it just fucking shoots right up there.
I really want to rewatch all of Babylon 5 so much, and there's just no easy place to get it. It's not on Netflix. It's not on Hulu. I've heard it's on Amazon.
Tim Mixdorf has it on DVD, bro.
Just go to Half Price
borrow
Books.
that.
You probably can find them there
Maybe.
on VHS.
Yeah.
Great. I also want, along those lines, we need to find a day that works because we need to. Jake and Keith have both never seen a Star Trek film.
What?
Exactly.
like
so
any Star Trek.
any
film?
of them.
Makes it much 2, 4, 6.
Nope. All
Nope.
6.
I think one is
One's-
worth the research.
One
One is
is interesting because it's almost like 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a 3-hour-long, incredibly boring, thinking sci-fi film. It's not an action film, so it's very different. And then once you pass 1, and so I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just way different. Then 2,
Thinking
3,
is dumb.
and that's fine. 2, 3, 4, and 6, I think, are all good films to some extent.
Yep.
5's the only one that I
You're-
think is actually bad.
You're a proponent for the Kirk trilogy. I'm a proponent for the Spock trilogy.
Yep.
The other thing about about even like two sometimes there's a little bit of like the time period that kind of seeps through in those movies a little
Yeah.
bit. It's like I can watch them, I don't care because it's more memories. When it's like you go into these kind of movies now, you're like, well, that looks like an '80s sci-fi movie.
When they show the high technology depiction of how Genesis will work on a planet, it looks like a Commodore 64 video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're and that's fine when you watch it. I mean, Keith and those two I would say probably could sit through a board one and give it a chance, but you just run the risk on Star Trek 1 being so blandly, longly boring
Sure.
that you could just think they could say, wow, I
think
want to
I've
watch
got-
more of that.
But you have to tell them. Like, that's the thing, is especially if you watch, like, the full director's cut version that is, like, over 3 hours long.
I have never watched all of Star Trek 1.
Yeah.
I got to the point where they did the 20-minute circle of the Enterprise, and I always fall asleep.
Yup.
Wait, you mean every 5 minutes there's a 20-minute circle
Yeah.
of the Enterprise? Yeah.
But we need to find 2 or 3 days
Well,
where we
why
can
don't
watch,
you
like,
just
2 movies
since
per
they've
day.
never watched? Why don't you just go back and watch the original series first?
No, don't even need that. Just the series. Just the
We
movies.
should choose a couple from the original series just to watch them. One of them being Space Seed.
I don't think you even need to, like, maybe Space Seed's worth watching. I mean, other hand, it's easy. You just go, hey, this guy tried to steal a ship and he marooned him on a planet.
Yeah.
Like, and then Gone with Your Life.
I mean, when I watched Star Trek 2, I never watched the original, so I didn't need that reference. It still made
No,
sense to me.
it was fine.
But I mean, Star Trek 6. I like that one a lot. Like that's
Which
like
one
the
is
more
6?
6 is
6 is the
the
one.
the one where they quote
Undiscovered
Shakespeare.
Country.
Undiscovered,
Oh, yeah.
the assassination of Chancellor Gorkin. Spoilers. 6 is, I think, with no exaggeration, the best film ever made about the crumbling of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War. Because it is not disguised at all that the tragedy on Praxis is Chernobyl. You know, the Klingons are the Soviet Union. The Federation is America, and we have to try to come together. And people don't want to do that because we've been fighting so long. And I mean, it's blatantly the fall of the Soviet Union, the end of the Cold War, and it's a really good movie about it.
And they quote Shakespeare
Yeah, I like.
And
in
it's
its original Klingon.
supplied me with my quote that I say all the time. I see you, Kirk.
I'd give real money if he'd shut up right about now. I like that movie so much, I actually got a tattoo of Admiral Chang's prototype Klingon bird of prey. Yeah, it's right up there. It's cloaked.
Gotcha.
It's cloaked, Brian. High five. Don't! You know you're going to steal that joke.
That doesn't matter. That's not the point. Fucking Zappity. Right. It offends me as much as your goddamn science Klingons.
Okay, and then the second part of that question is, how good will you have been as Rodimus Prime?
Amazing.
Uh,
It's just Bill Paxton in like a cardboard outfit of Rodimus Prime.
And all he does is go, I'm Rodimus Prime! I'm Rodimus Prime!
And Frailty 2. You're like, this makes no sense. What's happening right now? Yeah,
Zappity.
The Rebel.
And then the last comment, I didn't check Twitter at all, but I will take a look at it in a second.
There's some in chat, too, but
We have a very good question that was just asked. But
There's
anyway,
something
you were you?
Further
you
up.
do your thing, and then we'll scroll up. And here, I'll scroll while you're getting your Twitter thing.
Making sure that...
What? Ooh, what?
Okay.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Your Twitter. Oh, fine. You can do everything.
Zappity.
No, it's not.
No, you're on the wrong screen again.
What? Oh, wait. Okay, there I'm
You know
up
what?
there.
I got it.
Brian's
Stop it.
got it.
I can do it. It's up and down. It's a
Yeah,
mouse.
boom.
It's just when you get that far, things happen.
Okay.
Okay. Would it be better for Zappity Grumble to ask questions on Monday and let the people ask questions all week?
Yes.
That would probably be good, yes. Additionally, is there anything in works for a crippled bicentennial? Wait, what would be a
Episode
bicentennial?
200.
Episode 200?
Yeah.
Oh, we're coming up on that.
Yeah. I still need to record a new Minions podcast.
Yeah, there's a new Minions podcast. I'm probably going to need Nathan for a Mercenaries one, because we should actually double team it. We should make it the longest one ever, Mercenaries Minions. 'cause
Sure.
God damn, there's a lot of mercenary
So,
models.
gotta get-
14 hours?
Yeah.
Probably get Kerr on there too. He'll provide the alcohol.
And we might be doing a Star Trek pain train marathon.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't really be a pain train.
Well,
if,
that's
if
title.
we're including
If we're
5 in
watching
it,
a movie and talking about it, that falls under the pain train umbrella.
if we're including 5,
It's all 6. It's all 6 of them.
we're including 5.
Yeah.
5 has got some really good points in it.
5 has good ideas. 5 is a terrible movie, but it has good ideas in it. They just fail.
5 has got the great scene of Scotty saying, "I know the ship like the back of my hand," and then knocks himself out immediately afterwards.
And it's got the whole thing with Bones' his father. That's good character development. It's got, the whole character, the villain's good, blah, blah,
I
blah,
like
blah.
their camping. They go camping.
You got Uhura fan dancing.
Yes.
Commanded by no one.
I do like the idea, though, that's something... The villain of the film is... That idea is really cool.
Yeah. A passionate Vulcan. That's interesting.
Well, no, not just Cybot.
And even what he's doing.
Not just
Oh,
Cybot, the
actual
villain.
Yeah, the
of
actual
film
villain.
is very interesting. Not most of our people.
No,
don't
we would
like
watch all 6 of them, and we would want to do before and after conversations.
I have all the Next Generations as well.
After the original trilogy, maybe we
'Cause
continue on with Generations.
Let's watch all the Deep Space movies. Deep Star. Deep
I will
Space
watch
Nine
100% of the Deep Space Nine movies happily.
I would watch.
They're
all.
They
hour
are the
long,
best
and
part
there's
of
like
Deep Space Nine.
and there's like 140 of them.
Nope, not watching that shit.
Space Nine's amazing. It's
If you don't, Jesus Christ!
What the hell?
Did you confuse it with
Voyager?
Yes, my brain was going to Voyager.
I was like, what the? I was like, who would argue that? Other than like maybe Jim.
Deep Space Nine is the best of them because it's the most like Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And you also just wait until Cisco gets a beard, and then you're
Yeah,
good.
no, I was mixing it up with Voyager for no good reason. I'm sorry.
I was like, wow, that's a bold statement.
Deep Space Nine never had people go so fast they turned into lizards and then fucked into a new planet was, populated.
Yeah.
It never made toys for that particular
Or made
scene.
Nevok or Tuvix.
Tuvix.
Tuvix was it what it was? Tuvix.
I like they had the one character who was supposed to live like, she was in the after 5 years, but she was so unliked they got rid of her after 2. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just time to kill that character off because holy crap.
Last
no one
year
liked
she
her.
got arrested because she was flashing her genitalia at like 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that will happen.
Just like out front of her house. I don't know if she was high on meth or something. That usually is the case. But she was just, they arrested her because she was like,
Why
hey
can't-
kids, look at this.
Why can't she live next to me? I feel like old.
I saw her mugshots.
Okay, never mind.
It has been a rough 20 years for her.
All right. Well, we have a Zappity Grumble here. Do you have any more?
And further, additionally, what gaming mats have you found to be better quality to price point? The fat mats are pretty nice using that neoprene material.
I wish I wish they had better designs, but that material is the key. You want and Muse makes mats, don't they now?
Yeah.
And then they use neoprene. I think the new Muse probably makes the best mats.
And Muse, actually, they're really, really pretty good on the price as well.
They're
Some people like the blander looking ones more because they don't get confused with the terrain you put on.
I want bland, but
Yeah.
there's good bland, and like the Fat Man don't make good bland,
Right.
Like, and like I'm like the Muse makes good bland mats. You just want simple. You don't want.
Like my mat itself looks like that some giant just had runny shits and then just ran around the board, and so there's just trails of just brown trails everywhere. It doesn't look good.
We'll work that into it. You're fighting over the giant shit.
You must search piles of giant shit for the diamond.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm playing WoW again, and I'm going through all of Burning Crusade, and that's basically what that whole expansion is about: is sifting through shit for things. That's basically all it is.
Isn't that every MMO?
Any more Zappies?
Yeah.
No, but that was honestly all Burning Crusade is sift through shit looking for things.
Zappity.
I'm having a good time not playing.
Grumble.
Zappity Grumble.
Yeah.
Not playing an MMO.
What's your favorite style of tabletop game?
So most of the time when I play board games, at least nowadays, it's with people who are not really big into board games or tabletop war games or stuff like that. So I've been enjoying a lot of cooperative stuff recently. I don't have to feel bad about beating people up. They can all enjoy and having fun with it. I mean, there's certainly problems with people, taking over the whole conversation and guiding everyone to a particular place.
More and more games are getting smarter about that. Like Mechs vs. Minions has a timer. Gloomhaven has a thing where because it's the heat of the battle, everyone's playing cards, and it's all initiative based, number based. You can't say what number you're going at, but you can just say I'm going to go early, I'm going to go late. So there's these little things you can do, so you can't tell everyone what to do. You have to kind of plan off of guesstimations and stuff, and so it's kind of. But you are right; but games have been pretty clever about trying to overcome that.
Yeah, there's another one that I really want to try at some point, which is like two different teams, Captain Sonar.
Okay.
Yeah, Captain Sonar, we almost played it your last one, but then a few of the people that were still left didn't want to play it. But I'm excited about Captain Sonar.
But you need 8 people to play it, so.
Yeah. Well, don't you need like 8 or 6 or like... But 8 is
Technically,
the full.
I've read a couple of reviews, and they all say 8 is what you really want.
Yeah. There are a lot more real-time cooperative games available now. Captain Sonar, I believe, is real-time.
Yeah.
And then stuff like...
XCOM.
XCOM, Space Alert, Damage Report.
Yeah.
Those are all real-time cooperative games.
Yeah.
So that cuts down on the quarterbacking. Okay. I mean, I've always said that about Space Alert. That's why Space Alert, for the longest time, is my favorite cooperative game, because it was the only real-time one. And that was such a hard counter to quarterbacking.
Yeah, I dislike the alpha gamer. We're calling it quarterbacking alpha gamer.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
I really don't like playing games with an alpha gamer.
Well, and the issue is, I mean, you can't even... I don't blame the alpha gamer, right? Because, like, if we're playing Arkham Horror, and let's say Jim's playing, and Jim's the best Arkham Horror player on the planet, okay? Either he tells us all what to do, and we feel bad because he's just telling us what to do, or he doesn't, and he's hurting the team because we're actively doing worse. And since we all want to win, it's in the team's best interest to let Jim play solo.
Correct.
And so you either, all of us know that we're hamstringing ourselves and reducing our chances of winning just so that Jim doesn't get to tell us what he knows is the right thing, or he plays solo.
I like quarterbacking only in regards where someone's about to do something really stupid. Like let there be minor like Jim could be the best player and go, okay, what Max is doing is okay, it's not bad. What Andy's doing is okay, not bad. What Nathan's about to do is going to ruin everything. So I gotta shut him down because he's gonna fucking drive that car over the fucking zombies and cost us the goddamn game. You son of a bitch!
If they had not drawn a runner's activate twice, that was the right thing to do. Fuck you. It was a gamble, but I did not pay off.
There was no need to gamble.
I maintain it would have been great if it did not fail miserably. And that's fine. Like, he still has to bite his tongue, but what Matt's doing, what Andy's doing, it might be okay, but it's not optimal, right? And so he still has to bite his tongue.
So what is your guys' favorite style?
Oh, yeah.
Game? That's not. But I agree. You've also used that example 75 times.
I know. Sorry.
It's a good example. I'm just sick of it.
That's valid.
It's accurate. It's correct. But even the listeners, we lost like 7 listeners. Like,
I go with the Stanley school of episodes, which is that every episode is somebody's first. So not every listener has heard this analogy.
That is
before.
true. What's your favorite style? That's an impossible question. I'm going to say area control almost more than anything, because area control can be a war game. It can be El Grande is area control, but it's not war game. But war games by default are area control. I think about it.
I'm going to go esoterically kind of...
But for me, favorite, not... I mean, there's like a... I mean, no. But
This goes into area control, but investment games. And I don't necessarily just mean money. I mean, like...
You like Monopoly?
No, like Zolkin...
Okay.
Or IS, or even a lot of area control games where you...
Imperial. You're investing.
No, but I don't mean like that. I mean, like, think like Zolkin, where I put my workers out, but they don't trigger yet. Yeah. I'm planning for what those things are going to do 3, 4, 5 turns later.
That's definitely my favorite kind of worker placement game.
Right. But even outside of worker placement games, I mean, you have, like El Grande you mentioned. El Grande, you put all that in, you put all those tokens out there, but then people can come... And work with them. It's not an all or nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Imperial has it. Something you're putting things out. You're putting things out now.
I guess you're right. Like with the stock,
you're investing in things.
Yeah.
But no, Zolkin's a great example.
Yeah. Another one would be like viticulture, where you literally have to put wine in a cellar and it gets better over time.
Yeah, kind of. It's a smaller version of it, but it's definitely true. It's definitely you're investing into the later.
Yeah, and so that I see more and more games that are having that kind of thing, or even stuff that has like a queue, you know, where like actions like fall off and trigger later. Like Impulse was a game I played that's like that, but like so you add things that'll trigger happen, and so that's kind of interesting because you have to think ahead.
Well, even Star Wars Rebellion has it where your building comes later on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you have to plan 3, 4 turns ahead. You're like, I'm building this, and it's going to show up 3 turns down the line.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great mechanic too, Andy.
I think pretty much mostly everybody knows what my style of games I like.
Social battle games. Yeah, you're going to say co-op.
I like co-op. I like
terrible.
No.
Nobody good likes cooperative. Oh.
No, I'd say he likes terrible games.
No.
You like terrible games. I'm just fucking with you.
No. Hey, I like what is it? Encounter?
Legendary Encounters?
Yeah, Legendary Encounters. Yeah, I like that game.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. By your definition, it's terrible.
No, I didn't say every game you like is terrible. I just said that you also like terrible games.
Oh, okay. No,
Monkey knife fight.
hey, Monkey Arena. That is a great game unless you're the Howler Monkey.
It's a great game unless you're a Howler Monkey because there's nothing wrong with being the Howler Monkey.
No,
okay?
there's nothing wrong with it.
He's got a fight ability, except you and Jim and I don't know who else has decided.
No, we didn't decide.
You have declared whoever's the Howler Monkey needs to be fucked so hard.
No, because the Howler Monkey fucks everyone else.
Okay,
everyone else gets less options because the Howler Monkey exists.
One less card.
But you have had a game. You're like, all right, I'm going to teach you this game. Here's the rules. Also, it is a fucking rule that you must, from the very beginning of the game, attack whoever the Howler Monkey is until they're dead, no matter what.
Yeah,
okay, go. Oh, by the way, Brian, you're the Howler Monkey.
Yeah, basically, to explain the game, everyone starts with 6 cards, unless there's a Howler Monkey, and then everyone has 5 cards.
Okay.
So you're eliminating options.
And the Howler Monkey has no other powers. Like, the chimp is, like, fucking you up, and all these things are going on. And then, also, the other advantage of being the chimp and the ape is that you're not being murdered because you've talked everybody into murdering the goddamn Howler Monkey.
So, basically, you don't like the griefer style of play in a game.
Well, no, I like Monkey Arena, though. That game is great. I like simple, fun, cooperative games. I like games that last usually about less than an hour. Yeah. Except for like the odd Sentinels games that goes on for 3 hours because fuck that last villain.
Yeah.
You know. But I like it's more kind of tongue-in-cheek games are more my style. I will play other things just fine though.
Yeah, and you like some of the heavier stuff. Like you like Terra Mystica.
Yeah. Terra
But
Mystica.
amongst all of us, you most enjoy the just like stupid shit games, and I don't say that as a bad way. Like even I enjoy stupid shit games also. You know, I will happily play King of Tokyo.
Yeah.
They came with they came with a Cthulhu model I saw this week for that game. It was cool. It was a Cthulhu model for both King of Tokyo and King of New York, and with the expansion cards for both games. Yeah, that was really nice of them to make one item and has everything for both games, so you don't need to like be lacking anything for anywhere you went.
I think what it boils down is to you would play like that style of game for the entirety of a 10-hour board game day happily. Brian and I play those once to fill the 10 minutes while waiting for the other game to finish so that we can reshuffle players and split into 2-hour-long games again.
Correct, yeah.
The filler games. Like, you'll just play filler games all day long.
Yeah, I will happily play filler games.
I'm pretty confident that's what my hell is.
Just 12 hours of Suro.
No, I don't play Suro.
Those
Mine are at least a half-hour games.
No, Suro. I mean, all those games, they're all the same. Any filler game is a filler game. Like Suro. I mean, I love Suro, but again, I'd play it once and move on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, or it's probably just Cards Against Humanity forever.
Mm-hmm. You guys are like shitting on Andy Game. Nobody. It sounds like that. None of you guys would show up for Andy Game Night.
I would show up for Andy Game Night.
I'm not bringing Komet.
You fucker! Go buy the expansion from Pegasus. It's in their make an offer pile. That game is like in the top 100 on Board Game Geek. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's why we don't need it.
All right,
Son of a bitch.
Zappity Grumble. Is The Expanse the best current sci-fi?
It's really good.
Well, yes, by default. I mean, you're right. It's very good, but it is the best sci-fi kind of by default. There's not a lot of options, but The Expanse is phenomenal.
I go with Doctor Who or something like that.
Yeah, it's a different kind of sci. I mean, it's sci-fi, but I don't like The Expanse is like realistic-based sci-fi. I mean, obviously there's Protomolecule, which is way
Doctor
up
Who's
north.
fantasy adventure. Like it's not really sci-fi.
I mean, it really depends on what you're considering to be sci-fi.
True.
Is it like just hard sci-fi? Is science fantasy allowed in there at all?
But The Expanse is well done. It's Game of Thrones in space.
Mm-hmm. God damn it!
It's not.
You know
wrong,
I hate
though.
that comparison.
but with mostly likable people.
Now,
Just the great part.
is it better than Westworld? Which I know is currently off because it finished, but they're close enough in time frame. Like Westworld just happened.
The advantage of Westworld was like a season could have been one and done and been it. Where Expanse is, I might actually pick up the books and start reading really soon when the season's over because it seems really compelling, a really good story.
Yeah, I did enjoy at least the first 3 books is what I've read so far. They're not like any great work of fiction or anything.
Is the show staying Is this show staying honest to them?
I mean, they do add in some more stuff, like all of the politics on Earth. You don't see any of that in the books.
Okay.
I mean, those characters show up later, but it's very true to who they are.
If there's one thing I could change about The Expanse, I would change the Indian gal that's on the U.S.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure it's because of Jim, because I like her just fine. I think Jim said I don't like her, and Jim infected you like you infected me.
No. She's difficult to understand at times.
Only because you're racist.
No, it's not because I'm racist. Her line delivery does not feel like there's a lot of emotion behind it. It just seems like that she's just literally just reading it off a script in front of her. She doesn't
She's
like
Indian?
Yes.
Like,
She's like an Oscar-winning actress. She's
But
very well
there's
known.
there's so many other characters in there that are just feel like their delivery are heartfelt. They feel like they're in that character. She, to me, feels like she's just reading it.
I have found
That women are terrible actors.
that women are terrible actors. That's why we call them actresses. They don't deserve to be called actors. No, that's a joke. This is something I found in real life to some extent as well. It's assuming that she's ESL and is native-born actual in India and grew up, the way that vocal inflection works in Hindi and other languages down there, they sound different speaking English, and so that could also be part of it, is they tend to have a different inflection, and so they might sound like that line.
It's either boring or Bollywood. There's no in between. Either they're singing or dancing, or it's just regular bland. It's the only two.
I wish Hollywood made Bollywood-style movies. Like, when we got out of John Wick 2, and there was a Bollywood film about to start in the next theater, I fucking would have stayed and seen that if it wasn't on 11
It's like, you know
o'clock
how
at night.
3 took... You want like 3 to fade away in Bollywood style to take over
Oh
for
my
like 4
God!
years.
I unironically love Bollywood-style movies.
They are.
If John Wick 3 had dance numbers and like backflips over spinning cars and stuff, and like, Bollywood's so good.
There is something happy about those movies when you watch them. There's something positive, and I have always enjoyed anything. I've never seen anything from a Bollywood film that I have not liked.
Yeah.
The clips I've seen though, like the guy like racing his horse and then sliding the horse underneath the semi truck.
Yes!
I mean,
That's amazing.
That stuff is pretty goddamn
It's
amazing.
like the Akira slide, but with a horse, complete with the smoke coming off the hooves.
If I saw, I can see that in John Wick 3. I'd stand up and they're clapping and cheering.
Yeah, or the movie Robot, where it's like they're fighting against a robot, and he builds more robots of himself, and he includes the robots all like hold hands to form a giant snake that attacks the town with like just him like this as fangs. Like, just yes.
Could you probably say that Crank is technically probably a Bollywood film?
Crank feels Bollywoody. It needs more dance numbers.
Sure.
But apart from that, yeah, that's the kind of just
Crank
fuck
and
it,
Crank
let's
2
go.
are very just fuck it. Yeah.
God, I wish it was called Crank 2 even crankier. That would have been the best subtitle. But whatever.
I'm surprised that they haven't made a third one because I know 2 must have done much better than the first one.
The two guys that did the Crank movies, like, they don't do movies together anymore.
Oh,
But a hilarious anecdote I heard, and I don't remember the name of the person who it was, but somebody was making a film, and he contacted those guys, and he said, hey, you've got this great tracking shot in, like, Crank 2, and can I borrow the rig you used to make this? And the guy's like, yeah, you can do that. It's going to cost you, like, $20,000. He's like, okay, sure, I can do that. And so it was the dude just holding a camera on roller skates. And he just showed up with his roller skates and said, give me the 20 grand. And just roller skated by holding the camera.
Wow, nice.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Right.
But The Expanse is really good. I just
Oh yeah, speaking of Bollywood, The Expanse is really good.
Yes. Yeah.
It's, I don't know, something about like more gritty, realistic sci-fi. There's just something about it that's enjoyable to watch. It's like you could, like, this future I could see happening. Like, it's not that I don't dislike, fantasy futures, but it's sometimes nice to see like an actual, like, realistic
'Cause
possible.
It's still kind of pessimistic about what we actually do when we get out there, but it's the fact that we actually do get out there and start,
And it's that,
pushing
like,
Are
the
there
edges of the
aliens?
Technically,
kind of.
but yes.
ish.
Okay.
But technically, it starts off with there's just humans, people on Mars, and then like people on the belt, asteroid belt, kind of living. And then there's obviously Mars and Earth don't like each other very much, and no one respects the belters. And people who are born out there have problems on Earth, and there's all sorts of elements of like that. And
Gravity is too
then,
strong
like,
on Earth.
and Mars
do
is
predators and tentacle
No.
monsters show up, or you're saying like expansers and stuff, or what you mean when you talk about aliens? Am
there's-
I getting to spoiler territory?
You're getting-
Spoiler
it's
a
territory.
little bit.
Whatever, because the reason I ask is because there's this weird, of all the genres, sci-fi I think suffers in that there are two extremely different genres,
Yeah.
right? Because if you have Isaac Asimov, robots and computers and Andromeda Strain doctors fighting a virus science. Like, the Andromeda Strain is literally just doctors looking at test tubes and going, we better solve this disease, and then they cure a disease.
Yeah.
And that's a whole fucking movie, a Hollywood movie, of just doctors looking at things under a microscope. There's no, anything. Meanwhile, you have Obi-Wan Kenobi using wizard powers to fly around with his laser sword battling, aliens.
this is not
and
really-
those are both sci-fi.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, is that there's this huge difference between these two things.
This one I would say is a little bit of everything right now. I mean, you definitely have the science stuff going on and the math stuff, but it's interesting. But you definitely you have your space combat, and there's elements you don't understand, but it's being developed as the story goes on, and then like
the more fantastical elements of it are more just kind of, they're very core to the plot, but it doesn't really matter what actually it is.
it's very character
It's a
driven.
thing that
It's a MacGuffin.
is a
Just a
MacGuffin,
MacGuffin.
basically, that forces conflict to happen.
MacGuffin Airlines. Glazed MacGuffins.
MacGuffin asteroid. Asteroid MacGuffin.
I loved when the fucking asteroid moved. I was like, holy fuck, that was an amazing. There's an entire build up, and then it just moved, and you're like, what?
Yeah. No, I've seen it, but
that was a couple
I'm
weeks ago.
reacting as in the
Yeah.
people who are like, what?
It was such a simple thing that was so amazing, and it's like, I love it. Poor Mormons.
Oh yeah, those poor space Marines.
Nathan, we should schedule Expanse watching. So I don't know. Do you have Amazon Prime?
I don't think I have Prime, no.
I have Prime. It's on the first season's on Prime, and I have all the new season recorded.
That's good.
So we should plan
If
for.
Amazon Prime, you should watch the new live-action Tick.
I have.
Yeah. Well,
It's
good.
only this first episode because
know.
it's been a
coming
pilot
soon, though.
forever.
Well, no, they did.
No, they greenlit it.
Yeah,
Well, I know they greenlit it, but it's been only the pilot has been on there forever.
So eventually you get to find out if it's Fight Club style or not.
I still want. It's already been greenlit too. Out of the two pilot series, I liked Jean-Claude Van Johnson
that was pretty good.
more than the Tick.
Jim loved it a lot too.
Jim hated the Jean-Claude Van
What
Johnson.
is-
He
what
couldn't
is
even
this?
make it through the first 10 minutes of it. Jean-Claude Van Johnson
It's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
as Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty great. It is very good.
It's a half hour. We can watch it when we're done here.
It's mind blowing.
Okay.
All right, Daphne.
Grumble.
Grumble.
So recommendations. I think we're done with our Zappy Grumbles.
Yeah, we should go to recommendations.
I am going to.
What time is it?
It's time for
40.
our recommendation.
Minute 39.
I am
Oh.
recommending something that's older. Andy has recommended this probably 3 times and hasn't even finished it, which bugs me. But that's just how Andy does things.
iRobot?
Is it The
No.
Magicians?
Yeah,
I watched the first episode of iRobot.
You mean Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot. Yeah, that's it.
Zombie. The new season 3 comes out soon. And for a CW show, it is so good. Well, I watch all of CW, so
Yeah, seriously.
but no, iZombie. The thing about it, like it's got a good story. The season is pretty interesting. They build characters, and both season 1 and season 2 ended on huge strong notes. Like they know how to like tell a season story, and they know how to end on a like excitingly intense final couple episodes. And any kind of show that can consistently end strong, it's just an added fucking bonus on top of everything else it's doing. It's just really good.
Yeah. Do they do anything to like reinvigorate the
Gimmick
of the week that they do? Because like I got about halfway through season 2 and then
Yeah.
stopped because it just.
Well, I mean, it does have, I mean, it's got the element of the week where, you know, they're solving a crime of the week where she eats some brains, gets a personality, the thing, and does a thing. But I think that the overall story arc in both seasons are what makes it strong. And that I don't mind, like, the one-off episodes because there's constantly ridiculous things building. And season 2 builds to a pretty ridiculous crescendo of just massive fucking... Because, I mean, while you have...
It builds a crescendo of massive fucking?
Yeah, it's like, whoa!
Massive
Zombie
fucking.
Oh, that's CW.
CW, yeah.
Well, I mean, because in season 2 you have your crime of the week, but then you have like this serial killer thing in the background, which isn't really a serial killer, but it's this weird thing going on in the background. You have like this corporation weirdness going on in the background. So you have like there's like 3 season-long subplots that keep overlapping, and the one guy from Wings is in the show, and he kind of plays a bad guy / dick. It's kind of great.
Which guy from
I
Wings?
assume Steven
The younger
Weber.
brother, yes, Weber.
Steven
When you say
Weber?
the guy from Wings, you mean Steven Weber.
Yeah, the younger one.
Well, you know, could be both.
Because the other guy from Wings doesn't have a career anymore.
True.
Kind of a shame.
Yeah,
The older
there's
brother.
just Steven Weber.
Yeah. Or, well, no, that's not
And
true.
the guy who was the janitor.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
that's
yeah,
why I said
yeah, I was thinking
Lower.
there's like 3 characters. Anyway.
But those two you know well enough to know their names, right?
True, yeah.
That's the thing, is like you have
Thomas.
Yes.
Tommy Wiseau.
Yes.
No.
It's Thomas Church.
Yeah.
Is it Thomas Hayden Church?
Yes.
Okay.
You have him, and then you have Tony Shalhoub, and then you have the guy from Wings.
Yeah.
Because
Tony
the
Shalhoub
older
is the guy
brother
from Monk,
Wings-
though, for me now.
Well, sure.
Not from
but
Wings.
My point is he has a name, right?
Yeah.
If you say the guy from Wings, when you say the guy from Wings, you don't mean Thomas Hayden Church, because you know his name's Thomas Hayden Church. You don't mean Tony Shalhoub, because you know his name is Tony Shalhoub, and you also know him as Monk.
Yeah.
And you don't mean the older brother, and you don't mean the fat guy, because neither of them had careers after Wings.
Yeah.
So the guy from Wings means Steven Weber.
Hey, that Daily guy was on a few things. Daily, anyway. But anyway,
Tyne Daly? Tyne Daly's a woman.
Tim Daly.
Tim Daly. He's done a few things. He has a career. Not that I
Had.
He's still. Well, that's true. But anyway,
He's been in something recently. I just saw.
Lies.
but
He has.
Anyway,
it.
tell us about the crescendo of fucking.
Zombie.
Crescendo
Because
fucking.
season 3 started, and I like a show. I don't know, because some shows end poorly or they have a lot of issues, and I just think that they just keep telling good stories, and I really liked. There's like 4 subplots that just build through the entire season, so it makes it interesting.
Okay, I might try it out again.
I'm going to pull a Brian, and I also am going to recommend something that has already been recommended
By me?
by me this time.
No.
Well, I just figured season 3 starting soon. Now you're trying
That's
to catch
good.
up.
And there's a reason. I also have one that has
2 or
changed.
3
There's
seasons.
2 full seasons. 3
3 is
soon.
starting. So the Darkest Dungeon, which I've talked about before. It's a very good game. It originally was PC. It's now available on the PlayStation 4. So those of you who don't play PC games, you can get on your PS4. But they just released a patch for it recently that's very interesting. There's an expansion coming out soon, which has vampires, which will be neat. But that hasn't come out yet. But what they just did is... You know, it's a roguelike, so it's very grindy. You know, you have to go through and go through and go through. And then there's a New Game Plus where you play through it a second time, and the New Game Plus actually has a lose condition. If you don't beat the game by a certain time, or if you have too many deaths, you actually lose the game. So what they have just done is they released a patch that, number one, allows you to play with those New Game Plus limitations right out the door. So you don't have to play through the game once to then unlock the New Game Plus. And number two, it actually introduced something they called Radiant Mode, which is basically jumping into... It speeds the game up like twice as quickly.
Oh.
You get way more loot, you get way more experience, you just... The 50, 60 weeks it normally takes to beat the game, it's cut down to like 20 or 30 weeks. So it's just hyper mode. It's not easier, it's just faster and kind of more extreme, which is kind of cool. So I recommend it again.
Sometimes you don't have the time to do the 60. I have learned, and I've tried now. I've bought 5 different roguelikes, and I've learned that those games aren't for me.
That's fine.
It is, but I'm a little because they always seem neat, and I like the concept. But when I play them, I don't know what about. It's just one of those things that just like I guess. But after 5 purchases, I finally realized that it's not my genre.
I
appreciate them. I could watch people play them, but I just can't.
I think it's wrong to even call Darkest Dungeon a roguelike, and I shouldn't have said that. Each mission kind of is, but the interesting thing about Darkest Dungeon, because in the discussion thread on the Something Awful forums, we talk about strategy, all the new stuff, and things go on. New players come in a lot, and they talk about being frustrated. They talk about dying, and they mention that something really bad happened, so they just restarted the game.
Yeah.
And an interesting thing about Darkest Dungeon is that you don't give 2 fucks about the characters. They are expendable chaff. Your character is the town. And the town is always improving, even when these adventurers are just being murdered by held abominations. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, it doesn't fucking matter what happens. You never can take a step backwards. So you have infinite time. There's no loot. As long as you don't do the New Game Plus version, there is no way to lose Darkest Dungeon. It is impossible to lose. The worst that happens is all your people die. You just hire new people and train them up and keep trying. You cannot lose.
Is there a win condition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, you beat the Darkest Dungeon.
Okay.
And until then, you just grind people up and they gain XP, and then you go at it, and hopefully, you beat dungeons and get further and further. But if they die, oops, get new guys. There's no losing.
It sounds very similar to on the Nintendo 3DS. You have the Me thing that you send, you do a pass with the other people, and you get a version of their character, and then you send them through a dungeon.
Yeah.
But now Nick.
He said something that's right and wrong.
Well, first of all, before you get to that part, I just love his last 3 statements. I like to think that those are just a fuck up. He's responded to us over the course of the last half an hour with a statement. But I love his last 3 statements if they were a train of thought.
Time Cop, Tony Shalhoub. It's like XCOM.
I don't know why. It just is the funniest
now
thing
I'm just
I've ever
seeing
seen.
Tony Shalhoub as Time Cop.
The thing is, it's not like
alien.
XCOM. Well, I think it's long where we can
He
lose.
just travels through time to clean things.
and shoot aliens.
Yeah.
Mostly
Time
cleaning up the
janitor.
Time Cop, you didn't shoot aliens.
Well, it's like XCOM.
XCOM.
Oh,
That's it.
travels back in time to correct the time stream and battle aliens.
Yeah.
I love when XCOM first came out. They had the head programmer for it. They had videos of him for their commercial, which was him just going into a GameStop and trying to sell XCOM to people. And my favorite part was go up to somebody and say, "Hey, do you like aliens?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And you go, "Well, great. I got this new game with aliens in it." They go up to somebody like, "Hey, do you like aliens?" They're like, "No." He's like, "Great. You can kill them in this new game I made." It's like, that's salesmanship. But yeah, that's the thing to keep in mind. Unlike other roguelikes where you die and you're like, well, fuck, I just lost all that shit. It's like playing Diablo. You can die 100 times in Diablo 3 and you just respawn back in town, right? You'll get there eventually. There's no losing Diablo 3.
Interesting.
Darkest Dungeon's the same way. Just throw people at it, eventually you'll win.
I bought that game a while ago. That's an interesting take on that, and that's probably correct.
Yeah. People even say, think about it like you're the coach of a team.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if this player breaks his leg. It doesn't matter if this player is bad. You take him in, you take him to training camp. If that guy's a bust, you fire him, you get a new guy. You're taking your team to the championship, and if none of those original players are on your championship team, oh well, and your team got there.
And you can't be screwed where you just can't afford people and their town gets eaten.
No, people are always free.
Okay.
People come off the boat for free. You just go, give me those guys. Upgrading them costs money, but you take those free people and you throw them in a dungeon, and if they live, then you have money to upgrade them. It's impossible to be worse off.
Interesting.
The worst that happens is all your people die, but your town is still upgraded. You cannot possibly take a step backwards.
Nice.
It's still fucking frustrating when 8 spiders just jump on one dude, ignoring your other 3 people, and just murder him and use your favorite dude. It's still fucking frustrating. I'm not going to pretend that's the thing, but you can never lose. You can only
Well, now I
be
feel
angry.
it's more of an overseer idea, so
Yeah.
now that... But, again, Tuesday is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, and you're going to play that forever. But
At least 100 hours of it, so...
Cool. Yeah. Well, I was going to do The Expanse as my recommendation, but now that I have that sort of been talked about,
We can still do it.
no, I've got other stuff as well. A comic book that I've been reading recently that I picked up volume 2 of is Pretty Deadly. It's a gorgeous.
Who makes it?
I think it's Image.
Okay.
It makes it. Basically, Death has decided he doesn't really care about the cycle of life and death anymore, and so his daughter, who is the Reaper of Vengeance, has to go and take him down.
So he's just not killing people?
Yeah.
And so is it like the whole, like, people just sit in agony and can't die? Like, does it suck to not die? Or
It's more that he doesn't want to give over his position because you're supposed to die as Death, and then another Death takes your place.
Oh, okay, sure.
But he wants to, stay in power, and so it's all set with an Old West backdrop. There's lots of gunslinging and beautiful imagery.
Nobody gets hit in the head from a toilet seat?
No.
Oh.
From a plane?
Not from a plane.
Was it from a plane?
It's the International Space Station.
Oh, yes, okay.
It's a toilet from ISS.
Yeah, okay.
Came back to Earth and brained her.
Yeah.
What is this?
Dead like me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how she dies, is a toilet from the International Space Station brains her.
Spoiler alert, never watch any of the movies that are based on that show. Or even, I think, second season.
Whatever. Yeah, that's good. Is it like it's currently still ongoing, or is it like can I just buy a trade paperback and it's a contained story?
It is still ongoing. They have 2 collected volumes out there, and that's all that I've been reading so far. But they jump forward through different time periods. So the first volume is all in the Old West. Second volume is World War One. Third volume, I don't know where they're going next.
So this is topical in that I just did 14. This is like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, because I went from that to thinking of Fables to thinking of Wolf Among Us to thinking of the fact that I don't see Walking Dead Season 3 purchasable. Like, I went on the PlayStation Store.
It's called something. It's not called Walking Dead Season 3. It's called, like, Walking Dead something. Episode 3 comes out, like, in the next couple weeks.
I looked for it, and I couldn't find it.
It's really good.
Well, sure.
Go to Telltale Games, and they'll tell you what the new season is.
Why?
If I just do Walking Dead Season 3, I'm going to get responses that I don't really want. So, look at that. One of my my last search was Walking Dead Season 3. It's called A New Frontier. So if you look for Walking Dead A New Frontier.
Okay.
And it bundles episode 1 and 2 is bundled into that.
Sure. Okay.
It's weird. It's only a minor spoiler, but it's a Walking Dead. Episode 1 you play as what's his name. Episode 2 you play as what's her name.
Clementine?
And, I was waiting for him to like stab me or something. But you play as Clementine in 2. In 3 you play as Clementine and this new guy. And it's weird because you just want to play Clementine. It's all you want to do. Mm-hmm. It's more time has passed, like 6-7 months from 2. She's getting older. She's more kick-ass. She's amazing. And you're like, but I'm playing this Mexican dude, and he's not Clementine. And then
there's very distinct endings that are possible to episode 2.
Season 2, you mean?
Season 2,
correct.
Rather. Season 2. So
some of those options are kind of I think how they handle it are kind of my options were kind of weird, but you are true. There are ways.
There was somebody else with me.
Yes, and there's 3. There could be 2 people with her. When 2 ends, you could have one of 2 different characters with her, or she could be on her own.
Right. And I had a person with me, and it was not a Mexican guy.
Well, no, it's a whole new It's a whole new character that they bring into it. Well,
sure.
It could be. Well, I guess she's never technically alone. It could be her. Have you played 2?
I have not played 2 yet.
Have you played 1?
I've played 1. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's either 2 people with her technically.
Yeah. There's one of 2 people,
and you don't even in episode 2 you don't find out all the fates of everything. There's still some leftover.
Yeah.
She has flashbacks throughout, but like your character meets Clementine, and during conversations you could chat with them, and like, there's like multiple times where do you agree with Clementine or the other person? You're like, seriously, you're giving me the like, am I going to agree with Clementine or the other person?
I'm never going to not agree with Clementine.
Yeah, it's just kind of I mean.
You've made me emotionally invested in this character. I'm never not going to do it.
Yeah. And she's kind of it's kind of funny because she is such a badass.
Yeah,
she doesn't have. I
made sure of that in season 1. God damn it!
She still hasn't had the still not eaten moment of season 2.
I made her shoot me in the face.
Yeah,
I killed that dog. Still not bitten.
Yeah,
good times.
Still not bitten is one of my favorite dialogue options from that game.
Mine too, obviously, because I was playing season 2 and I just texted you "still not bitten" out of the blue. Andy's just showing us Blood Bowl for some reason.
It's not Blood Bowl.
Oh, it's just the mutants and robots.
Oh, Mutant League Football?
Yep.
Okay, Andy got bored of your conversation, so he looked up Mutant League Football.
Is that your recommendation?
That's my recommendation. Go back to Kickstarter. It actually is successful already, so it's probably going to be coming out for the PS4.
But it's not closed yet, right?
It's not closed yet. There's 8 days to go. They've made enough out of the $60K that they wanted.
Nice.
So,
cool. I've avoided anything from Kickstarter for 2 months. Next month I'm going to back one though, but
it just looks so goddamn great.
Those are really good graphics.
Yeah.
Eric Lang, who made Blood Rage, is making a Japanese-themed Blood Rage-ish game, and they've been posting models online. And there's like amazing Japanese things because it's McVeigh Studios again, and it just looks beautiful.
God, the stadiums look freaking
they
insane,
put a lot of
too.
good effort into that game. I'd be tempted. That game would probably get made because people behind it. Like, I back video games, but just like it's just
This
riskier.
one they tried making like about 3 years ago too,
Yeah.
and it failed horribly last time.
Yeah.
This time I think they're asking less money, but I think they have some outside investors in it,
Gotcha.
so they just needed like something last minute.
Sure.
But anyway,
If I donate to the Kickstarter, will Denise Richards record a bumper for our show?
probably not.
Okay, because she wouldn't do that for the last Kickstarter either.
Oh, she didn't record any of them for
No,
anybody.
she backed out.
Oh.
Yeah, all the Denise Richards rewards got yanked.
Oh.
Womp womp.
All right, and that's our episode. That's our podcast.
We like to end on a...
Yeah.
I haven't stopped anything yet, so I lost all control of my mouse. All right.
Don't break pens, Brian. Andy was so sad.
Yeah, I was very angry at
I
that.
just blacked out when I broke the last one. I forgot what caused the rage. It just sort of happened.
Don't remind him. All right, cut it.